Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. If you want more content, you can follow me on Patreon. I will be uploading more content on there that will be exclusive. The link is in the description. Please support me. 2 kiloseconds. 31. It's settled. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Cough cough. Teacher Yako coughed and looked around Jodao with a smile. Everyone should have heard that Uchiha Kagami asked me to exchange ninjutsu with me. Heard. The students nodded, vaguely understanding something. You think right. The mysterious gift is the body flicker technique. This ninjutsu can make you have super high movement speed, which is extremely fast. It is also one of my 2 great tricks. Teacher Yazi explained with a smile, with strong confidence in her voice. Body flicker technique. I must win the first place. Nawaki immediately stood up when he heard Teacher Yako's words, with surprise in his expression. However, he suddenly looked at Hazuki, with a hint of worry in his eyes. The thing he didn't want to see the most in his heart was about to be revealed. Teacher, can only the first place get the body flicker technique? Namazi Manado asked suspiciously. Yes, only one person can get it. Whoever can get the first place in the competition can get this ninjutsu. Teacher Yako explained with a smile, his eyes swept to Hazuki intentionally or unintentionally. I don't think it's necessary to compare, I've decided on the body flicker technique. Hazuki's voice suddenly appeared, echoing throughout the classroom, which was noisy, but because the words were instantly quiet, everyone turned to look in the direction the voice came from. Hyuga Hazuki, what do you mean? Nawaki said, staring at Hazuki, only with panic in his eyes. Because of Hazuki's performance, it has been proved that he has already learned the 3-body technique. Damn, why are you again? Why did you learn it again? The 3-body technique that I finally learned. Damn it. Nawaki clenched his fists tightly, and he wanted to hit the wall with discomfort. Seeing Nawaki's state, Manado also frowned and stood up. Advertisement. Hazuki, if you want to get the body flicker technique, you have passed my Namazi Manado level, and everyone has learned the 3-body technique, and they will explode with great strength. You underestimate everyone. Yes, when we learn the 3-body technique, we will definitely be able to explode with great strength. Yeah, Hazuki, you are too conceited, and you are likely to lead us to unite and defeat you together. The students said, one by one, full of confidence. Oh, really? Hazuki glanced at the boys in the class and shook his head disdainfully when he saw how they dared not look at him. Even if all the boys come together, you are not my opponents, so is it necessary to waste time? Hazuki said lightly, with a high-spirited voice in his voice. Hyuga Hazuki, you're going too far. Namazi Manado frowned, annoyed in his voice. That is, don't forget that Nawaki has already learned the 3-body technique, and his strength is very strong. Yes, Namazi Manado's strength is also very strong, and if we unite, we can definitely defeat you. Don't think that learning ninjutsu is great. Unity can cause qualitative changes. The students were filled with righteous indignation and were very resentful about Hazuki's words. Outside the classroom, the pig-face masked figure quietly observed all this, somewhat repelling what Hazuki said. Sure enough, he is a thorny student. If he passes the test, he must find a violent woman like Tsunade to discipline him, otherwise ordinary teachers really can't teach him. The pig-face masked figure spoke silently, continuing to examine Hazuki's talent, waiting for him to emerge and reflect his value. Inside the classroom, Hazuki looked around and looked at everyone. His handsome face had a hint of coldness and domineering. He was about to say something when suddenly the voice of the system came. Advertisement. Ding. Please choose. 1. Make a good relationship with classmates, and then play well. Reward. Ceiling. 2. Choose to abstain from participating in the competition. Reward. Water-style water prison technique. 3. Defeat the boys in the class to qualify for the competition. Bonus. Mist shinobi technique plus a small amount of chakra. Hazuki looked at the data panel that appeared, and glanced over the rewards for the second and third items. To be honest, the water prison technique of the second item is still very good. In the original work, Hoshigaki Kisame committed suicide by virtue of this ninjutsu, which made countless people admire him for being a man. Because of this, Hazuki completely remembered Hoshigaki Kisame, this charismatic villain. But the second option is to abstain from the competition. If he chooses the second option, then the instant body technique will be gone. Hazuki disagrees. After all, this body flicker technique is equivalent to a reward. Therefore, after being silent for 2 seconds, Hazuki chose the third option. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Ignoring the system's voice, Hazuki slowly got up from his seat and looked directly at Naoki and Namazi Manado. I'm waiting for you at training ground 3, I hope you don't let me down. After Hazuki finished speaking indifferently, he left the classroom with Makoto and Kashina and headed straight for the training ground. All the boys were left in place, looking at his back angrily. As for the girls, they looked at Hazuki with brilliance. For the domineering Hazuki, it was 100 adoration, just like the little girls in the real world who prefer the kind of handsome and thorny students. The performance of these girls made the boys depressed again, and they vowed to defeat Hazuki and beat his arrogance. Advertisement. Come on, let's go and fight Hazuki, we will definitely win. Naoki was the first to jump out and shout. Let's go. Namazi Manado also stood up, his eyes dignified. The appearance of the two also attracted all the boys to stand up and walk outside the classroom. It was a battle of dignity for them this time. After all, Hazuki looked down on them, and they were really annoyed, even Namazi Manado. And the emotions in Namazi Manado's heart were even more intense. He used to be in a competitive relationship with Hazuki, but now Hazuki seems to look down on him. Such a gap really makes him very unwilling. Therefore, this time he decided to fight, and even thought about various countermeasures in his mind, intending to use the power of unity to win Hazuki. Everyone, listen to me, I have a set of battle plans now, everyone has memorized it, and we will act according to my instructions later, and we will definitely win. Namazi Manado's brain was racing, and he quickly came up with a battle plan. The students around were actually worried that they would lose. After all, Hazuki's ninjutsu was very strong, which put a lot of pressure on them. When they heard Namazi Manado's countermeasures, they immediately felt confident. That's it, remember, you can definitely win by relying on my strategy. Naoki, you are an important force, so you must cooperate with me. Namazi Manado said solemnly. Don't worry, I'll do my best, Naoki assured, clenching his fist. After everyone finished speaking, they came to the training ground with strong self-confidence, and then waited silently with kuwu in their hands. All here. Hazuki glanced at everyone indifferently, ignoring the growing number of spectators around him, but suddenly brought up a mysterious smile. Since everyone is here, why don't we change the fighting method? Another way of fighting. What do you mean? Open black lens bracket 32 close black lens bracket 2 weak. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The boys wondered what Hazuki meant. It's simple. Hazuki smiled and continued. In order to increase the difficulty, I decided to change to a fighting method that does not use ninjutsu. No ninjutsu. Are you sure? Namazi Manado couldn't believe it, his mind seemed a little empty. The boys around were also surprised, and their minds were even more empty. In their impression, Hazuki's ninjutsu is very threatening, which is the reason why they are dignified. If they don't use ninjutsu, they have absolute confidence in defeating Hazuki. So, the boys looked at Hazuki with hopeful eyes, waiting for him to confirm the answer. Yes, I'm sure. Hazuki nodded, choosing the latest god-level option in his mind. Okay, that's what you said, don't regret it if you lose. Naoki hurriedly spoke, afraid that Hazuki would go back. Regret. In Hazuki's dictionary, there is no regret. Hazuki said indifferently, and slowly took out a handful of kunai from his ninja bag. Okay. As expected of Hazuki, it really counts. Naoki was duplicitous, with an undisguised joy in his expression. The boys around were also surprised, as if they were about to win. Only Namazi Manado looked at Hazuki suspiciously. Far away, the pig-face masked figure frowned secretly at this scene, wondering why Hazuki wanted to avoid his weaknesses and not use ninjutsu. He is fighting against so many students at the same time. If he doesn't use ninjutsu, even Genin will lose. The pig-face masked figure shook his head and sighed. Swish. Teacher Yazi suddenly appeared and came to him with a smile. What? You think Hazuki will lose? Advertisement. Isn't it? Hazuki is good at ninjutsu. He has a high chance of losing against so many students by relying on taijutsu alone. He also has a strong opponent like Namazi Manado, said the man with the pig face mask. Don't forget, Hazuki is from the Hyuga clan. Teacher Yako smiled and pointed out the main points. Yeah, I'm really stupid. The Hyuga family is very good at Gentle Fist. It seems that Hazuki already has a plan to use Gentle Fist to defeat these students. The pig face mask man suddenly understood what Hazuki was thinking. So, how can a genius's mind be so easy to figure out? For example, do you dare to call her a girl in front of Master Tsunade? Teacher Yazi said jokingly. Shouting girl. What a joke. I don't want to die. The pig face masked man trembled in fright. I don't dare to forgive you. In fact, I don't dare either, but Hyuga Hazuki dares. That's why genius is very different. Dare Hyuga Hazuki. You mean Hazuki once called Tsunade girl? The pig face masked figure trembled. Yes, is there a problem? Teacher Yazi tilted his head and looked at number 3 with a half smile. The problem is big. That's Tsunade, the famous Princess Tsunade. Eddie Nyong, this Hazuki is more thorny than I thought. The man with the pig face mask panicked, and the image of Hazuki talking to Tsunade in front of Tsunade appeared in his mind, and he was full of admiration in his heart. This kid is really a cup. He is stronger than me just by virtue of his courage. My mother F. Kerr is Jonin, even Hazuki is not as good as a student. The pig face masked man sighed and gradually admired Hazuki. Of course, he was still somewhat worried about the next battle. Gentle Fist is very powerful, but if Namazi Manado is around, Hazuki will have a crushing victory even if he wins. Looks like it's going to be a fight between dragons and tigers. At the moment when they were thinking, there was a change in training ground 3. I saw Namazi Manado, Nawaki and a group of boys gathered together and discussed the battle plan. Although they felt that they would definitely defeat Hazuki, Namazi Manado still cautiously came up with 3 battle plans. Do you remember? This is the battle of dignity, and we must not lose. Namazi Manado said solemnly. Remember. The rest of the boys nodded solemnly, each holding the kunwu and preparing to send their hair. Okay. Come with me. Led by Namazi Manado, the boys reappeared around the field, standing opposite Hazuki. Advertisement. Hazuki, be careful. Namazi Manado hinted that the battle was about to begin. Let's start. Hazuki nodded, not attacking, but playing with kunai. Second plan. Namazi Manado suddenly roared, and frantically threw out kunai with both hands, trying to defeat Hazuki with a numerical advantage through long-range attacks. Whoosh whoosh. Countless kunai flew towards Hazuki like raindrops, and came whistling with the sound of breaking wind. The scene, like a person standing under the rain of knives, was very shocking. Such an attack also attracted the attention of countless people, and some people were worried, but in the next scene, everyone's eyes widened. Ding 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 ding. Sparks flew, and Hazuki's hand flew like a butterfly through a flower, knocking all the attacking kunai flying, and even throwing out several kunai with his backhand, knocking out a famous student. Damn it! Stop the kunai throwing and charge all. Namazi Manado felt depressed when he saw Hazuki's backhand manipulation, and hurriedly changed his combat strategy. Hearing this, the boys rushed towards Hazuki, preparing to besiege again. It's really weak. Hazuki shook his head, he just threw the kunai one at a time, but he didn't expect to easily eliminate a few people, which surprised even him. Also, I always focus on the future 6 paths level combat power, and completely forget that there are only some children around me who can't even play ninjutsu. Hazuki said secretly, calmly looking at the group of children rushing towards him, and then suddenly accelerated with a smile. Bang! What? Nawaki flew upside down like a broken ball. After rolling several times on the ground, he lay on the ground blankly, his mind blank. F. What happened? Bang 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 bang. The continuous sound came. Nawaki turned his head to look, saw Hazuki flashing like a phantom, and the boys all flew out wherever he passed. In less than 10 seconds, only Hazuki and Namazi Manado were left in the center of the field, but advertisement. But Hazuki's kunai was already on Namazi Manado's neck, and the game was over in 10 seconds. Seeing such a scene, Nawaki's mind was confused, and he didn't understand what was going on at all. You lost. Hazuki said lightly, staring at Wave Manado. Yeah, I lost, your speed. Namazi Manado didn't say anything, but slumped on the ground decadently. 1 second. He hadn't lasted a second in front of Hazuki. Such a blow made the arrogant man completely decadent. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task, reward missed shinobi technique plus a small amount of chakra. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for not relying on ninjutsu to defeat his opponent, reward, water style water prison technique. Close black lens bracket. Hearing the sound in his head, Hazuki glanced around, then came to Makoto's side and grabbed her little hand domineeringly. Girl gone, Kashina is also very good. Oh. Makoto nodded his head obediently, and stumbled away with Kashina, who was standing still. There was a silent venue and decadent boys. How can his strength be so strong? Why? Nawaki said unwillingly, the whole person lost his original vitality. But no one answered him, and everyone was at a loss, not knowing how to describe their hearts. Even the man with the pig face mask was in a complicated mood. He originally thought it would be a battle between dragons and tigers. He thought that Hazuki would use Gentle Fist to win, but he didn't expect that it turned out to be the case. You son, do you understand? I see. Super fast movement speed, powerful strength, absolute eyesight, just the right shot, super melee skills. Is he really just a child? Yeah, such melee skills, the ability to catch every flaw, even I am ashamed, the Hyuga family is really a genius. The pig face mask figure said, and decided to go back and report to Hokage, focusing on cultivating Hazuki. No. 3. I want to teach Hazuki another trick of mine. Teacher Yako said suddenly. What? Open black lens bracket 33 close black lens bracket Manado is decadent. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I said, I want to teach Hazuki another trick as well. Teacher Yako said, her voice a little weak. But have you thought about the consequences? If you continue to teach him, then he will be your student, he will not be able to be his teacher, and you will block his way. The pig face masked man asked back. Hearing his words, Mr. Yazi was silent for 2 seconds and said, forget it, I'll decide later. Let's compete as soon as possible. Row. Inside the classroom, Hazuki took the 2 cute girls back to their seats, lying on the table and playing with Makoto's little hands, while checking the newly acquired ninjutsu in his mind. The water-style mist shinobi technique and the water-style water prison technique are both very practical. The control effect of the water prison technique is very extraordinary, and the mist shinobi technique is somewhat intriguing. Because Hazuki remembers that in the anime, mist shinobi technique can affect Sharingan, which is a very powerful interference ability. It's a really good game, and the body flicker technique. I don't know when I will participate in the competition. After I get it, my strength will definitely skyrocket again. Hazuki secretly said in his heart. Huh, why is it so quiet? Hazuki found that it was very quiet next to him. Kashina and Makoto used to chat endlessly, like 2 cute little birds, but how is it different now? Turning his head in doubt, Hazuki saw Makoto and Kashina in his field of vision, staring at him dumbfoundedly, their cute gestures like 2 little dumb cats. What are you doing looking at me? Hazuki asked suspiciously. Ah, nothing. Kashina hurriedly denied it, turning her head to look forward, but out of the corner of her eye, she still looked at Hazuki secretly. To be honest, Hazuki's performance just now was really outstanding. His heroic appearance against the boys in the class, his ability to easily defeat everyone, and his unrestrained and indifferent fighting process, should not be too amazing. Although Kashina refused to admit it, he had to admire Hazuki's extraordinariness. I admit that you have some strength, but you are still a lot worse than the big brother. The big brother is the most powerful. Kashina pouted, feeling a little arrogant in her heart. Advertisement. After experiencing the scene of the destruction of the world, Kashina's vision has improved sharply. If Hazuki is not the same age as her, and her strength surpasses everyone by too much, she will not lose her temper. It was just that Hazuki looked at him just now, and for some reason, she always felt flustered, so she no longer dared to look at Hazuki openly. However, Makoto next to her was not too flustered. Instead, she raised her little hand with a warm smile. I saw that small snow-white hand gently stroked Hazuki's hair, straightening the messy hair, so that Hazuki's appearance did not leave the slightest reverie. However, she also saw a bit of dust on Hazuki's sleeves and quickly patted it off. Ding. Please choose. 1. Thank you to Uchiha Makoto. Reward. Ceiling. 2. Stop Uchiha Makoto's heart-warming move and reward. Water-style water body technique. 3. Ask Uchiha Makoto to help you wash clothes. Reward. 5% physical enhancement plus a small amount of chakra. Looking at the god-level choice that suddenly appeared, Hazuki's lips couldn't help twitching a smile, and his consciousness quickly passed between the 3 options. Eventually he locked down the third item. The reason why the third item is locked is because Hazuki values the 5% of physical enhancement. Just now he was able to defeat all the boys so easily, even Namazi Manado couldn't hold him for a second, because of his super physique. The continuous improvement of his physique has brought his physique to a terrifying level, even in physical combat, countless people are looking at him. Combined with the Grandmaster of Swordsmanship, Grandmaster of Battle, Grandmaster of Taijutsu, and Grandmaster of Shuriken, it can be said that he is still very, very powerful without the slightest ninjutsu. And there is also the chakra reward. Hazuki naturally chose the third item without hesitation. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Makoto. Hazuki took Makoto's little hand and looked at her with his fingers interlocked. What's wrong? Uchiha Makoto wondered, blinking at Hazuki with big eyes. Come to my house after school in the afternoon and help me do the laundry. Hazuki said as a matter of course, without the slightest embarrassment, as if Makoto should be responsible for this task. Uchiha Makoto was stunned. Her little face immediately flushed red, but she still pursed her lips and said, well, I see. It's so sweet, and help me wash it in the future, Hazuki said, looking at Uchiha Makoto as a prospective girlfriend. Hearing what he said, Uchiha Makoto was a little helpless. She gave Hazuki an angry look, and finally nodded her head dotingly. On the other hand, Kashina couldn't bear it any longer. She wanted to tell Makoto that Hazuki had kissed her, but thinking that Hazuki had helped her many times, she could only bury it in her heart. But I still couldn't help but say something. Bad man. Seems to think that this sentence is a bit too heavy, and changed it to, the best bad man. After saying this in her heart, Kashina looked at Hazuki and found that the other party was looking at her with a smile that was not a smile. Suddenly, Kashina hurriedly turned her little head aside. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task. The reward. Physical enhancement 5% plus a small amount of chakra. A warm current like a hot spring appeared. Hazuki's physique was strengthened again, and even chakra was agitated. Strength again. Hazuki clenched his left hand and looked out the window with a smile. The green scenery came into his eyes, and along with the scenery, the warm sunlight shone through the window, causing him to narrow his eyes. Tired? Go to sleep. Advertisement. Hazuki muttered a word and lay down on the table and started to doze off, but his right hand never let go of Makoto, and he was still clutching it reluctantly. Small and soft. Time passed little by little, and soon the students in the class returned, but everyone's condition was not very good, especially Namazi Manado, who seemed to have lost his soul and completely lost his spirit. On the other hand, although Nawaki was also quite hit, there is still vitality. Manado, are you all right? Nawaki hurriedly asked, seeing that Namazi Manado's state was not right. It's okay. Namazi Manado shook his head, a hint of self-deprecation in his eyes. He had always thought that even if he couldn't beat Hazuki, it would bring Hazuki a lot of trouble, but he never thought that the battle between the two sides would be completely lost in less than a second. Such a blow is undoubtedly huge to him, who is like arrogance. It is so big that others can't understand it, and it even involves beliefs. When other students lose, they lose, and they are depressed for a while at most, but they will be fine after a while, but Namazi Manado is different. He is relying on the strengths he has achieved step by step, and these strengths have also brought him a strong belief and confidence. But all his sacrifices could not last even a second in front of Hazuki, such a blow shattered all his confidence. Namazi Manado was decadent and completely lost. The other side. In Kazuki-sensei's Class 1, Ino Shikacho is working hard to refine chakra and prepare to compete with Hazuki and his class. At this time, A fat student who watched Hazuki's battle hurriedly ran back to the door of the class, and then spoke in horror. I found out about the battle class, we're in big trouble. Open black lens bracket 34 close black lens bracket skip. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Big trouble. What big trouble? Akamaiki Dingza asked suspiciously. The third class against us, Hyuga Hazuki will be a disaster for us. The fat man at the door said. Hyuga Hazuki. So what? I admit that his kunai throw is strong, but mine isn't bad either. Nara Shikahisa said indifferently, with a cool gesture. That's right, although he has some strength, I, Akamaiki Dingza, don't eat dry rice. And me, this time I'm going to wash away the shame of the previous failure. Yamanakahai said loudly. You listen to me first. The fat man at the door hurriedly spoke, attracting everyone's attention. Just now, Hyuga Hazuki defeated all the boys in the class with one person. The strength is very terrifying. What? What did you say? Impossible. Yamanaka Kaiichi stood up in disbelief, his eyes the size of copper bells. It's true. The boys, including Namazi Manado and Nawaki, didn't last 10 seconds in the melee confrontation. Hazuki is too strong. The fat man at the door continued, his body was shaking. 10 seconds. Including Namazi Manado. Are you sure? Nara Shikahisa stared at the fat man, wanting to see if he was lying. The students in the class did the same, and couldn't believe it was true. I swear, this is what I saw with my own eyes, that Hyuga Hazuki is too powerful, he is simply not human. The fat man at the door raised his hand and swore, with a very solemn expression. To be so strong, to beat so many people in 10 seconds, it shouldn't be. Namazi Manado is very strong, and there are so many boys. Nara Lu-ju raised his eyebrows, and was a little unconvinced. His memory is still stuck in the past, thinking that Hazuki is just kunai, so he still doesn't believe it. Advertisement. At this time, Teacher Yu from Class 1 walked in with dignity. Tell you some unfortunate news. Hyuga Hazuki from Class 3 defeated all the boys in the same class. He is very strong. I'm afraid there is little hope for the body flicker technique you want. It turned out to be true. Hearing the teacher's words, the doubtful students in the class immediately believed it, and a storm surged in their hearts. Defeating all the boys with one person's strength is absolutely unimaginable, let alone a genius like Namazi Manado. Such a strength stunned everyone. Damn, this Hyuga Hazuki is too strong. Someone swallowed. I thought he was just kunwu powerful, but I didn't expect him to have a unique trick. Now it's a big trouble. The students in the class talked a lot. Their expressions became more and more solemn, and they became more and more uncertain about winning. I have a way, maybe I can still win. Nara Shikahisa said suddenly. What way? Teacher Yu on the podium was puzzled, and the idea of admitting defeat was immediately withdrawn. Although Hazuki is very strong, this is based on the fact that our strength is too weak. If we can learn ninjutsu or family secret art, we will definitely win. Nara Shikahisa said to himself. That's it, then I'm afraid it's going to delay time. I'm afraid you won't be able to learn ninjutsu in a short time. Teacher Yu asked a question. So teacher, you buy us time, and we Ino Shikacho will master the family secret technique as soon as possible. As for everyone to learn the three-body technique as soon as possible, this will definitely bring big trouble to Hyuga Hazuki. Nara Shikahisa said lightly. That's true. Teacher Yu nodded in approval, and then continued. Leave this to me. I will discuss with Teacher Yazi that the competition will be postponed. You must work hard and don't lose the face of our Class 1. Don't worry, teacher, I will let the family give a special training this time when I go home, and if you delay the time, I will definitely be able to defeat Hyuga Hazuki in the next match. Advertisement. Okay, it's up to you, I'll go to Teacher Yazi first. Watching the teacher leave, the whole class fell silent, and one by one fell into high spirits. As for Ino Shikacho, he chose to return to the family as soon as possible and asked for special family training. Hazuki didn't know anything about Class 1, and even if he knew, he wouldn't care. When the gap in strength was too great, no matter how large the number was, it was just a mob, so Hazuki didn't care. He is now bored listening to the teacher's lectures, those boring classes are no longer useful to him, and it is finally noon. Hazuki's eyes flicker, and he pays attention to skipping classes. Makoto, let's skip class. Hazuki suddenly turned to look at Makoto. But, when Uchiha Makoto heard that she was about to skip class again, she felt that something was wrong, but when she met Hazuki's eyes, she was immediately defeated. Hazuki, big brother, you decide. Well, then let's go. Go to my house and help me do the laundry. After Hazuki finished speaking, he took Uchiha Makoto's little hand and walked out. During this process, Makoto lowered his head shyly, and his ears were already red, because many people around looked at her again. Where are you going? Kashina asked suspiciously when she saw them leave. Of course you skipped class to go to my house, are you going? The class is too boring. Hazuki smiled. No, I'll go home and practice the three-body technique. Kashina shook her head to express her refusal. Today Hazuki's performance hit her. She decided to go back to practice and improve her strength as much as possible to make herself stronger. Okay. Hazuki didn't force it, and left with Uchiha Makoto. After a few minutes. Advertisement. Hazuki and Makoto returned to their small courtyard. Hazuki, big brother, you sit down for a while, and I'll help you do the laundry. Uchiha Makoto was very good and wanted to help Hazuki do the laundry for the first time. Come on, I'll take you to get it. Hazuki took Makoto to the bedroom, took out some unwashed clothes and handed them to her. Hazuki, big brother, change your clothes too. It got dirty from the battle today. I'll wash it for you. Makoto said in a low voice, and then ran to the washing room with little feet. Hazuki watched her little back go away, closed the door with her backhand, and quickly changed into a new set of clothes before taking her clothes to the washing room. But when he walked to the washing room, he saw that Makoto's face was blushing brightly, and he was washing his intimate clothes. Those snow-white and tender hands were busy, and he didn't mean to dislike it at all. Seeing this scene, Hazuki was stunned for a moment, and then he remembered that the previous clothes were all put together, and he didn't look at them when he gave them to Makoto just now, but gave them all to her. This. Hazuki opened his mouth, not knowing what to say, and simply gave her all the clothes. Hey, do you want me to help? No, it's a girl's business to do laundry. Hazuki, big brother, go outside and rest, it'll be done in a while. Makoto lowered his head and said, his voice was very small and soft, with a faint hint of shyness. Fine. Seeing Makoto in such an adorable state, Hazuki smiled slightly, then walked slowly to the living room, resting lazily on the sofa like a grandfather. What a heartwarming girl, just teach her lunch and dinner. Hazuki muttered, not embarrassed at all, but as it should be. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket 35 close black lens bracket earth style soil flow wall. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. With a smile Hazuki leaned back on the sofa, thinking about the next spiritual path. Now his chakra volume is steadily increasing. Thanks to the increase of the intermediate sage body, Hazuki's chakra volume is already a lot, and there is no need to worry about this aspect. And physical, melee, ninjutsu can be considered to meet the requirements, then defeating Namazi Manado and others is the best proof. Certainly. 8 trigrams 64 palms, the symbol of the Hyuga family, Hazuki still has to learn. This is indeed a direction. After all, the follow-up Revolving Heaven is still very good. As for the 8 inner gates that will shine in the future, Hazuki will not give up, and he will definitely find a way to get it in the future. Wait for chakra to improve a bit, it's time to try chakra's nature transformation. Ice escape, scorch style, explosion style, and even dust escape are all good abilities. Hazuki looked at his snow-white slender hands and the chakra flowing in his arms under his eyes, thinking about which attribute transformation to choose. Let's choose the wind attribute. In the future, I can try to develop the wind-style spiral shuriken. Don't worry now, the amount of chakra in my body is too small, so let's practice 8 trigrams 64 palms first. After making the decision, Hazuki got up and took the practice scroll, carefully watched it several times to memorize it, and then closed his eyes to refine the chakra, while constantly remembering and recording. Time passed unknowingly, and more than 2 hours passed in a blink of an eye. Hazuki, who was closing his eyes, slowly opened his eyes and found himself covered with a blanket. He sniffed lightly and immediately smelled the aroma of rice coming from the kitchen. What a sweet girl. Hazuki smiled, put down the blanket, and walked slowly to the kitchen. The purpose is that Makoto is busy in the kitchen wearing a cartoon apron. That little figure is orderly chopping and cooking vegetables, adding seasonings from time to time, and every move is beautiful. Advertisement. As a beauty embryo, even if she is still very young, she is still very eye-catching, blooming with her beauty. Hazuki leaned against the door and watched silently, his heart was quieter than ever before. To be honest, it would be very beautiful if he could live like this warmly forever. Unfortunately, Hazuki knew that all this was a bubble, and it would burst with a poke. Various crises in the future will definitely affect his life, and Hazuki is also eager for tyrannical strength. He wants to get that invincible ability like immortality, and then live in the world. Hazuki, big brother, have you finished your practice? Come to the living room, let's have dinner later. Makoto found Hazuki at the door and said with a smile. Need my help? I'm your teacher. Hazuki stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Makoto's waist. No. No, Hazuki, big brother is going out soon, it smells of smoke. Uchiha Makoto's little face was flushed and his voice was small. Okay. Then hurry up. Okay. After a few minutes. Hazuki, big brother, it's time to eat. A pleasant voice came from the kitchen, and soon Makoto, who was wearing a cartoon apron, came out with the food. In an instant, the tangy vegetable fragrance came oncoming, and the fragrance filled the house, making people drool. It smells so good. Hazuki was amazed at the delicious food. To be honest, Hazuki's proudest decision was to teach Makoto how to cook. This girl was born for this purpose. Now the dishes she cooks are even better than his. In the future, when they are together, it will definitely be a blessing. The girl's cooking is getting better and better, not bad. Hazuki praised without hesitation. It's all taught by Hazuki, big brother. Go wash your hands, let's eat. Advertisement. Makoto put the food on the table, and found Hazuki staring at him, a little embarrassed to change the subject. Ding. Please choose. 1. Immediately wash your hands and eat with Makoto. Reward. Leaf Hurricane, Taijutsu. 2. Continue to stay on the sofa and refuse to eat with Makoto. Reward. Chakra Scalpel. 3. Check your status in Uchiha Makoto's heart and ask her to fetch water to wash your hands. Rewards. Earth-style earth wall plus a small amount of chakra. Looking at the god-level options that suddenly appeared, joy appeared in Hazuki's heart. It was just a wash of hands that triggered the choice. Don't be too happy. His eyes swept over the 3 options and quickly landed on the last one. The third option was to ask Makoto to wash his hands. He had never experienced such an experience, and the reward was not bad, so Hazuki chose the third option. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Ignoring the system's beep, Hazuki looked at Uchiha Makoto with a smile in his eyes. Girl, go to the end of the water. Bring water. Why? Okay, Hazuki, big brother. Uchiha Makoto was a little confused and couldn't figure out why he was going to carry the water, but when he saw Hazuki's eyes, he immediately did it like a good baby. After a while, Uchiha Makoto came over with water. The water is coming. What's wrong, Hazuki, big brother? Come on, wash my hands. Hazuki put his hands in front of Makoto and said as a matter of course. Wash your hands. Hazuki, big brother is a big slob. Makoto gave Hazuki an angry look, but he raised his small hand obediently, grabbed Hazuki's big hand, and put it in the basin to wash it a little bit. Advertisement. Her movements are very light, and the cleaning process is also very serious, without any rashness, just as careful as treating the most beautiful artwork in the world. Hazuki, on the other hand, quietly looked at Makoto, who was serious and busy, feeling the warmth and ru in her small hands, and the warmth flowed in her heart. Such a cute girl is really attractive. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the third item, and reward earth-style earth wall plus a small amount of chakra. Close black lens bracket. As the sound of the system fell, a large amount of knowledge about the earth-style soil flow wall was integrated into his mind, absorbed by his master, and integrated. And his strength, in this simple hand washing, became stronger again. Hazuki likes this kind of life atmosphere and this kind of improvement method. So after washing, Hazuki decided to reward the girl. Ha! When Makoto finished wiping his hands and was about to pour water, Hazuki suddenly approached her and kissed her little cheek like a dragonfly. Yeah, Uchiha Makoto was obviously caught off guard. The water basin he was holding almost fell to the ground, and his small ears turned pink at a visible speed, which was really beautiful. I'll go get some water. Uchiha Makoto didn't know how to face Hazuki, so he quickly made an excuse and ran away, then hid in the washing room and didn't dare to come out. Girl, hurry up and eat. Hazuki saw that Makoto couldn't come out, so he came to the washing room and forcibly pulled her out. Okay. Uchiha Makoto's small head was always lowered, and he didn't dare to look at Hazuki at all. Even if he was pulled by Hazuki, he would follow him stupidly like a marionette. The two quickly sat down at the table to prepare to eat, but at this moment a voice sounded again. Ding. Please choose. Open black lens bracket 36 close black lens bracket 8 trigrams 64 palms. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ding. Please choose. 1. Eat next to Uchiha Makoto. Reward. Sea level water style ninjutsu. 2. Eat a meal far away from Uchiha Makoto. Reward. AC level fire style ninjutsu. 3. Let Uchiha Makoto feed you. Reward. 10% increase in mental strength plus a small amount of chakra. Hazuki, who was about to eat, looked at the options that suddenly appeared and fell into thought. His taijutsu and ninjutsu are very powerful, but his resistance to illusions is still very low. Previously, he received some spiritual power rewards, and his resistance to illusions increased slightly. Although this resistance is not much, Hazuki understands that improving mental strength can effectively increase resistance. So looking at the last reward, Hazuki chose it without hesitation. In addition, let the girl Makoto feed herself, such a good thing, Hazuki will choose even if she doesn't want to reward. So Hazuki, who was sitting at the table, didn't pick up his chopsticks, but stared at Uchiha Makoto instead. What's the matter, Hazuki big brother? Why are you staring straight at people? Makoto felt the burning gaze, and shyly lowered his head. Come on, feed me. Hazuki grabbed Makoto's slender waist and announced strongly. But, hurry up. Okay. Advertisement. Makoto pouted, and took the food with chopsticks in his little hands and fed Hazuki a little bit. This process was very warm. Even when she caught a fish, she would carefully remove the fishbone, and then check it several times to make sure that there were no fishbone before feeding it to Hazuki. Not bad. Take good care of me in the future. Feed me every day, you know. Hazuki announced arrogantly. I see. Hazuki big brother knows how to bully others. Makoto gave Hazuki a sullen look and nodded helplessly. I am going to bully you, and I will continue to bully you in the future. Of course, only I can bully you. Hazuki said, but there was domineering in his eyes. This girl can bully her, but he will never allow others to bully her. Anyone who dares to bully her will be courting death. Congratulations to the master for choosing the third item. Reward. 10% increase in spiritual power plus a small amount of chakra. The warm current was flowing in his mind, and Hazuki obviously felt that his spirit was better. It was as if he walked outside and was blown by the cold wind after waking up, and he was much more awake. Such an improvement made Hazuki overjoyed. Not bad. Better than I thought, Hazuki murmured. Hazuki big brother, what did you say? It's all right. Let's eat. Oh. Time passed, and soon it was evening. After Hazuki sent Makoto home, he walked leisurely back to the Hyuga family station, but when he was about to get home, he was blocked by 3 people. These 3 were all teenagers a few years older than him. They also had white eyes and a forehead protector with Konoha on their heads. They were obviously ninjas. Hyuga Hazuki, I have something to tell you. Among the 3 boys, the one with the white-eyed eyes at the front said. Advertisement. Who are you? Hazuki felt a little familiar when he saw the boy, as if he had seen him before, but he didn't take it seriously. Don't even know me. I'm the young genius of the Hyuga family, Hyuga Hasashi. The white-eyed boy Lang said calmly, with strong confidence in his expression. Oh, it's Hyuga Hasashi, what's the matter? Hazuki didn't say much, just asked indifferently, thinking about the person's future destiny. I heard that you are very close to Uchiha Makoto. It's better to stay away from her. Don't forget that we are from the Hyuga family. In addition, We need to practice our own 8 trigrams palms. Those low-level ninjutsu are a complete waste of time. Hyuga Hasashi said lightly, with a gesture of admonishing the younger generation, and even pushed the forehead protector. Ah. Hazuki shook his head when he heard Hyuga Hasashi's words. This guy is really idle. He came over to keep him from touching Makoto. He was really nosy. Hazuki was too lazy to pay attention to such a person. He was about to turn around and leave, when the mechanical sound of the system suddenly sounded. Ding. Please choose 1. Follow Hyuga Hasashi's advice and be a member of the Hyuga family who loves the family. Reward. 1 sea-level water-style ninjutsu. 2. Reject Hyuga Hasashi's suggestion. Continue to interact with Uchiha Makoto. Reward. Sea-level wind-style ninjutsu. 3. As a future superpower, how can I be disciplined by others? Please be angry with Hyuga Hasashi. Reward. 8 trigrams 64 palms plus a small amount of chakra. Seeing the god-level choice that appeared suddenly, a smile twitched on Hazuki's lips, and someone could give him a reward when he walked home. Hyuga Hasashi is really a good guy. To express his gratitude to Hyuga Hasashi, Hazuki decided to repay him well, so he made a quick choice. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Hyuga Hasashi right. After choosing, Hazuki stared at each other with a smile. Advertisement. Yes, have you recognized the mistake? It's not too late to recognize the mistake. You must understand that as a Hyuga family, you must take the honor of the family as your responsibility, and always think about the people. Hyuga Hasashi thought that Hazuki realized the mistake, so he kept chattering like a Tang monk. Shut up. Hazuki interrupted Hyuga Hasashi's words, and said to him with a cold face, I'm really worried about eating radishes. You don't care about my business, get out of the way. After Hazuki finished speaking, he walked in the direction of his home, leaving Hyuga Hasashi and his 2 companions in a daze. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the option. Reward. 8 trigrams 64 palms plus a small amount of chakra. Close black lens bracket. The warm current reappeared. Hazuki's mind was flooded with knowledge of 8 trigrams palms, mastered by his master, and his strength increased in a short period of time. The strength is stronger again, not bad. Hazuki clenched his hands and hummed a song in a relaxed mood with a cheerful gesture. But Hyuga Hasashi was dumbfounded and took a few seconds to react, and his 2 companions were similar, so he didn't expect to get such an answer from Hazuki. This kid is so crazy, even Hasashi is in his eyes. Hasashi's strength is very strong, and he belongs to the elite in Genin. That's right, Hasashi's father is the patriarch. Hazuki dares to provoke even the patriarch's son. It's crazy. If it were me, I wouldn't dare. The 2 friends next to him were talking, and they were very shocked by Hazuki's Haki's words, but looking at the dark-faced Hyuga Hasashi, they knew that this matter was not over. This Hazuki is going to be in trouble. Hasashi is a master at learning 8 trigrams 32 palms. It is said that even 8 trigrams 64 palms is about to learn it. Yeah, Mad also has the qualifications to be mad. I guess he has never seen the power of ninjas. I bet Hasashi will defeat Hazuki with 1 move. Well, I'll take a gamble too. As the 2 companions spoke, they saw Hyuga Hasashi chasing after Hazuki with anger. Hyuga Hazuki, stop for me. Ding. Please choose. 37 Close black lens bracket 8 trigrams Revolving Heaven. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ding. Please choose. 1. Fight against Hyuga Hasashi. Defeat him within 10 minutes. Reward. Earth-style rock stealing stick. 2. Fight against Hyuga Hasashi. Defeat him within 5 minutes. Reward. Wind-style Hanasan dance. 3. Play against Hyuga Hasashi. Defeat him within a minute. Reward. 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven plus a small amount of chakra. Hazuki, who was walking home, suddenly stopped and his eyes quickly swept over the 3 options, but he did not choose, but turned to look at Hyuga Hasashi. Hyuga Hazuki, your words are too much. I just kindly remind you, and there is no need to practice messy ninjutsu. Gentle fist is our main theme, like I have learned 8 trigrams 32 palms, very powerful. Hyuga Hasashi stared at Hazuki angrily, but mentioned 8 trigrams 32 palms with a strong confidence in his expression. In the Hyuga family, apart from his eldest brother Hyuga Hiyashi, he is the strongest among his peers. He is a powerful man in 8 trigrams palms. He has performed outstandingly on several missions and is respected, which has also become the capital of his pride. So, he often relied on his own experience to mention the little devils in the clan, but this Hazuki was so stubborn that he refused to listen to his advice and even turned his face black with anger. Therefore, he decided to let this Hyuga Hazuki understand the horror of gentle fist. Hyuga Hazuki, you are still young, you have little knowledge, you don't understand the power of 8 trigrams 32 palms, I tell you, that is a very powerful physical art, and… Okay, shut up. If you want to give me some advice, you can beat me first. Hazuki said lightly, making a choice immediately in his mind. Beat you. Okay, I'll let you experience it for yourself. Advertisement. Hyuga Hasashi played the 8 trigrams palms starting position and decided to play 8 trigrams 32 palms from the very beginning, defeating Hazuki with lightning speed, which made him understand the power of 8 trigrams palms. With confidence, he smiled at Hazuki and said, "You can announce the start." Ro. Hazuki nodded and said, "Start. Look at me, 8 trigrams 32 palms." Hyuga Hasashi let out a roar, his hands flashed like butterflies, and hit Hazuki quickly. But when he got close to Hazuki, he found that the other party was waving 8 trigrams palms similar to his, it seemed a bit like 8 trigrams 64 palms. 8 trigrams 64 palms. The cold drink suddenly came, and Hyuga Hasashi only felt a pain in his heart, and then… bang 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 bang. 5 seconds later. Hyuga Hasashi slumped on the ground, staring blankly at the back of Hazuki's departure. He was completely covered up. Hasashi, are you alright? The 2 little friends hurried over to help Hyuga Hasashi up, and they were a little worried when they saw his stupid appearance. What happened? Hyuga Hasashi swallowed his saliva, his head was full of paste, and vaguely remembered that he was beaten by a few palms after getting close to the other party. Hasashi, you lost. That Hyuga Hazuki could play 8 trigrams 64 palms, that's amazing. Yeah, as soon as you met, he hit your heart. If he didn't show mercy, you would be defeated in a second. Advertisement. The 2 little friends said, looking at Hyuga Hasashi with pity. I didn't expect Hazuki to know 8 trigrams 64 palms. I thought he didn't do his job properly and learned a lot of ninjutsu. It turns out that he has already mastered the special skills of the clan, and even learned the limit. Hyuga Hasashi said bitterly. Yeah, he doesn't have scrolls and can't learn 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven, so he should be unable to learn and can only learn ninjutsu. The little friend next to him added. Well, let's go, Hazuki is right, I'm really nosy. Hyuga Hasashi sighed and walked in the direction of home, looking a little helpless. However, after walking a few steps, he was suddenly stunned, and then hurriedly said. Wait, you said just now, when Hazuki fought me, did you show mercy? Yeah, we can see clearly, that Hyuga Hazuki hit your heart with one move. If it was a real fight, you would already be dead. The friends next to him said solemnly. It turns out that the gap between us is so big. I thought I persisted for 5 seconds. It turns out that my mother Kerr didn't persist for even a second. Damn. Hyuga Hasashi was completely decadent, and walked home in a state of depression. But when he entered the door, he happened to see his elder brother Hyuga Hiyashi. What's wrong with you? Why do you look like this? Hyuga Hiyashi asked suspiciously. It's okay, I'm going back. Hyuga Hasashi shook his head. I didn't want to talk about what happened to me, but decided to work hard and practice hard after returning to improve my strength, and I will be ashamed next time. But after he walked away, Hyuga Hiyashi did not leave, but frowned and looked at Hasashi's 2 friends. What's the matter? Tell me what's going on. Okay, it's Hyuga Hazuki. Hasashi and Hazuki were defeated just now. They only lasted for a second. Advertisement. Yeah, that Hyuga Hazuki would be 8 trigrams 64 palms, very good. The 2 little friends chatted a lot, and said everything they knew, like pouring beans into a bamboo tube. Hyuga Hiyashi listened silently, and at first Hyuga Hiyashi didn't take it seriously. But when he heard Hazuki's age and strength, his expression changed. It's so strong, he's just a student of the ninja school, he actually learned 8 trigrams 64 palms, and even defeated his brother who was genin. It's really good. Hyuga Hiyashi praised secretly, but did not consider Hyuga Hazuki his opponent because he has been master 8 trigrams 64 palms for a long time and will take the Chunin exam this year to become a Chunin. Such strength is definitely the strongest genius of the Hyuga clan, so he is very confident. Looks like I'm going to meet this Hazuki. I didn't expect such a little genius in the clan. I'll give pointers to these little geniuses in the future. With strong confidence, Hyuga Hiyashi walked out of the house and walked down the street. He wanted to meet each other first. Hyuga Clan Station Number 7, Hazuki's home. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the character. Reward: 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven plus a small amount of chakra. Close black lens bracket. A large amount of knowledge appeared, melted into Hazuki's mind in the warm current, and was absorbed and integrated by his fast master. The strength is stronger again. Not bad. There are more and more children who send money now. You can come, I will not refuse anyone who comes. Hazuki said with a smile, with joy and happiness in his voice. Now that chakra is almost there, let's start the nature transformation of chakra with the wind attribute today. I hope that all attributes can be nature transformed. The bloodline limit is very good. After the words fell, Hazuki sat cross-legged and fell into the practice of chakra's nature transformation. The other side. Hyuga Hiyashi found out about Hazuki's house through inquiries, and then walked towards Hazuki's house step by step. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket 38 close black lens bracket mysterious gift. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After a few minutes, Hyuga Hiyashi arrived at the door of Hazuki's house and looked at the courtyard with confidence. Through the crack of the door, he saw a little boy come to the center of the yard. This little boy has a cold and handsome temperament, giving people a feeling that strangers should not enter, and there is a faint domineering atmosphere. The appearance is good, but I don't know how strong it is. Let me see how powerful this new Hyuga genius is. Hyuga Hiyashi came up with an idea, that is, to suddenly attack this little boy. In this way, he can test the actual combat level of this junior, and can more clearly recognize the shortcomings of this junior. Then, he taught the other party in the same way as his predecessors, and convinced the other party. Thinking of this, Hyuga Hiyashi smiled slightly, and suddenly mobilized chakra to rush into the small courtyard. Look! Hyuga Hiyashi roared, and with strong confidence, he waved his right hand. Boom! The sound of the impact came, and Hyuga Hiyashi flew out at a faster speed than when he came, and fell to the ground in a daze. It hurts to death. Hyuga Hiyashi curled up like a prawn clutching his stomach, and his mind went blank. He only remembered that he made a surprise attack, but just as he approached, he was kicked and flew out by the opponent. The strength of the key kick was so f-king strong that his face turned green in pain. Are you Hyuga Hasashi? Why did you attack me? Could it be because of the previous failure? I really can't afford to lose, forget it. Advertisement. Hazuki glanced at him indifferently, his right foot popped out like lightning, and he kicked him out of the door directly. Provide me again and slap your face. Bang! Hazuki closed the gate of the courtyard and returned to the house leisurely, falling into the transformation of chakra again. Outside the door, Hyuga Hiyashi stared blankly at the closed gate, the veins on his forehead throbbing. Never. No one has ever treated me like this. It's okay to beat me, but why would you kick me out of the door? And I also kicked my P shares, damn it, damn it. Hyuga Hiyashi was so angry that he wanted to scold his mother, but he was so embarrassed and looked very embarrassed, and he was defeated by Hazuki with one move. If others knew, then he would be embarrassed and embarrassed. Looks like that Hazuki thought I was Hyuga Hasashi. Hyuga Hiyashi hesitated, thinking about whether to continue the challenge. He didn't feel that he really lost. He was only defeated just now because of his carelessness. As long as he is careful next time, he will definitely not be caught by Hazuki. So he wanted to get back together and continue to challenge Hazuki, but he was kicked and his whole body hurt. Hyuga Hiyashi decided to go back and take care of him, and then he would officially fight against this Hazuki. I've already mastered 8 trigrams 64 palms. I'll definitely use this trick next time, just wait. With confidence, Hyuga Hiyashi limped away, but his stomach and pea-joint hurt so much that he even bared his teeth in pain. Damn, this Hazuki is so f-king ruthless, these 2 kicks are killing me. Hyuga Hiyashi, who was extremely depressed, walked into the distance in the tragedy. Time flies like an arrow, and a few days have passed in a blink of an eye. Ninja School, Training Ground 3. The students in Class 1 and Class 3, after this period of practice, finally some of them have learned the 3-body technique, which is considered to have some combat effectiveness. And today is the day when the 2 classes are fighting. At this moment, these students are gearing up and eager to try. Advertisement. Ino Shika Cho from Class 1 stood at the front of the class with a calm expression, watching the entire Class 3 quietly. It seems that facing the entire Class 3, facing a master like Hazuki, Ino Shika Cho is not panic at all, and there is no urgency at all. What's the matter? Ino Shika Cho looks very confident. Do they have some tricks? Nawaki said solemnly. I don't know, but Ino Shika Cho is not a fool. They are so confident that they must have powerful means. Everyone must be careful. Yes, as long as we work together, we can definitely win. Namazi Manado announced solemnly, his expression also confident. As a genius, he will naturally not slack off during this period, and his strength has also improved a lot, and even the master has a powerful whole card. This whole card gave him a lot of confidence, and he even had the confidence to defeat most of his opponents. Just thinking of Hazuki, and thinking of Hazuki's tyrannical strength against a crowd some time ago, Namazi Manado immediately frowned. If with this trump card, there is still someone who can't be beat, then only Hyuga Hazuki, there is no way, the opponent is too strong. Beside, Hazuki stood silently, playing with Uchiha Makoto's little hand, not taking this fight into his eyes at all. Hazuki big brother, Ino Shika Cho seems to have a whole card, aren't you worried? Uchiha Makoto. Worryingly, he looked at Hazuki. It's okay, at most they have learned a little bit of the family's abilities, such as partial doubling, shadow restraint, and heart-turning technique. This ability is not a threat to me. Hazuki's light analysis showed that he had a fierce look. It turns out that Hazuki big brother has already analyzed it so clearly, but you still have to be careful, that mind-turning technique seems to be very powerful. Uchiha Makoto's eyes were still worried, and the small hand held Hazuki's big hand tightly. It's alright, the mind-turning technique is easy to break free, and this ninjutsu has an Achilles heel. Hazuki looked at Makoto confidently. What weakness? Advertisement. Uchiha Makoto asked suspiciously, and Uzumaki Kashina next to him also looked over curiously. Hazuki looked at the suspicious expressions of the 2 cute girls, and continued with a smile. It's very simple, the heart-turning technique can only be used in a straight line. Use in a straight line. There is still such a weakness, how did you analyze it? This is the secret technique of the Yamanaka family. Kashina asked with her small head tilted, and she was extremely curious. There are so many whys. Hazuki shook his head without explaining, thinking about the next fight. Ding. Please choose. 1. Give up the battle with Class 1 and leave directly. Reward. Mysterious gift. 2. Lead the whole class to defeat all opponents in Class 1. Reward. Mysterious gift. 3. Defeat all Class 1 opponents alone. Reward. Mysterious gift. Mystery gift. Listening to the sound of the system in his head, Hazuki quickly swept through the 3 god-level choices, and then fell into deep thought. The options this time are completely different from the previous ones. The reward content is not displayed, but instead it has become a mysterious gift. This is really the first time I have encountered it. Hazuki secretly analyzed in his heart, and carefully watched the contents of the 3 options again. The first one, to give up the game, to put it bluntly, is to abstain, which is equivalent to getting something for nothing. As for the second option, defeating the opponent with the entire class requires a certain level of overall planning ability, which is basically not difficult. The third option, defeating all opponents alone, is actually very simple for him, and there is no difficulty. So it can be seen from this that the difficulty of the second and third options is not much different. Since the difference is not big, which one should I choose? Open black lens bracket 39 close black lens bracket. How is it possible? Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hazuki pondered and finally chose the third option after some comparisons. According to inertia, The third item has a slightly higher chance of a good reward, which is why he finally chose this item. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Ignoring the system's voice, Hazuki suddenly walked to the front in front of everyone's eyes. Teacher Yazi, I applied to play against Class 1 alone. It is enough for me to win against these people. In my eyes, they are just a bunch of cubs. Hazuki suggested lightly. What? Little brat. Damn it, you're going too far. The students in Class 1, including Ino Shikacho, were instantly angry when they heard Hazuki's words, and they all retorted. Hyuga Hazuki, you are too proud. Don't think that a little strength is great, our strength has also been improved. Yes, my 3-body technique is very proficient and the failure rate is very low. That's right, and Ino Shikacho, with them, we'll definitely beat you. The students in Class 1 were discussing and glaring at Hazuki, and Ino Shikacho took 2 more steps forward. Hyuga Hazuki, I'll let you understand in the fight later that the true strength of our Ino Shikacho combination will make you understand the fate of underestimating Ino Shikacho. Following Ino Shikacho's words, the whole training ground was filled with the smell of gunpowder, and all the students in Class 1 were staring at Hazuki, trying to put pressure on Hazuki through the power of the collective. If ordinary people are stared at by so many people and hostile to so many people, they will definitely be timid and fearful. But Hazuki was not afraid, but looked around indifferently, and even waved at Makoto, took her little hand and sprinkled the dog food leisurely. In such a scene, the whole Class 1 was so angry that even their teacher Wayu was depressed. Among the students she taught in so many periods, she had never seen such a thorny student. Advertisement. However, she admired Hazuki quite a bit, not to mention winning or losing, just the courage to fight against the entire class is not something ordinary people can have. If such a person goes to the battlefield, he is definitely a tyrannical ninja who dares to fight and kill. It's really a strange student. Although he is crazy, it is worth training. I hope you can play well in the next battle. Even if you lose, it will be a good training. Teacher Wayu said secretly, and glanced at Hazuki from time to time, waiting for Hazuki to break into a butterfly after losing the battle, and completely transform. The other side. Hazuki, are you sure you want to fight the entire Class 1 alone? Their strength has improved a lot, and you may suffer. Teacher Yako asked suspiciously, worried that Hazuki would suffer. It's just a trivial matter. Even if their strength has been improved, it still doesn't matter to me. I've decided on the body flicker technique. Hazuki said lightly, and the whole person was full of strong self-confidence. Such a confident appearance also caused Makoto next to him to look at him like a little nympho, and his little face was full of admiration. As for Kashina, although she has always been brooding about Hazuki kissing her, she has to admit that Hazuki is really good, and that young man's frivolity is really eye-catching. HMPH, I know it's cool, maybe you will lose later. Kashina muttered, and Xiao Ji pouted. Okay, let's start, there's no need to waste time. Without waiting for the teacher's approval, Hazuki walked directly to the center of the training ground, looked at the team of Class 1 proudly, and even hooked his fingers at them. Such provocative actions really made the students in Class 1 angry, and they all came to the front of the field with righteous indignation, regardless of whether the teacher agreed or not, ready to fight Hazuki. Hyuga Hazuki, don't regret it, this is the way you propose to fight, don't say we bully you too much. Yamanakahai said loudly. There are so many things, mother-in-law and mother-in-law, if you don't dare to compare, then admit defeat to save time. Hazuki looked at Yamanakahai with contempt. Damn, I'll let you know how good I am. Yamanaka was furious, clenching his fists and ready to shoot. Yamanaka Kaiichi, wait, I have 3 strategies in mind. After a while, you will act according to my strategy, and we will win 100%. Nara Shikahisa greeted Yamanaka Kaiichi and the surrounding students, then got together and whispered, and told his companions 3 strategies. Have you all remembered? I'll signal to you when the time comes. Nara Shikahisa said solemnly. Advertisement. Remember. A group of students nodded in agreement. Well, according to the first set of strategies, everyone will take their place. Yes. The students moved quickly and soon stood on all sides of Hazuki, one by one waiting for the battle to begin. As for Ino Shikacho, the 3 stood together, confidently waiting for the teacher to announce the start. Everyone is in your place. Teacher Yako shouted loudly. After confirming that everyone was ready, she said again, start. Hyuga Hazuki, let you know our Inoshika chose amazing, heart-turning technique today. Partial doubling. Shadow binding. Whoosh whoosh. As the sound of the beginning fell, a large number of students in Class 1 rushed towards Hazuki, and Inoshika Cho used his own unique trick at the first time, ready to control Hazuki and defeat him. This moment, almost all moves and abilities, even people, rushed towards Hazuki, swarming towards Hazuki in the form of a siege. The scene of the simultaneous attack had a bit of the meaning of galloping horses, which brought a certain sense of oppression. The onlookers saw this scene, and their expressions changed slightly. Even Namazi Manado became solemn, because even he had no good solution for this sudden attack. Be careful. Advertisement. Uchiha Makoto reminded eagerly. Her little face was full of worry, and Kashina, who was beside her, also held her little hand, secretly cheering Hazuki. Hazuki, don't lose, you are a genius, you have to do your best. At this moment, everyone was attentive, staring at the center of the arena, at the figure posing in the hands of 8 trigrams palms. Also at this moment, under everyone's attention, the figure finally moved, and the cold voice echoed throughout the training ground with his actions. 8 trigrams palms revolving heaven. Boom. The terrifying hemispherical chakra hood suddenly appeared, spinning rapidly with terrifying power, and the ultra-high-speed rotation, with the cooperation of the white eyes, instantly knocked out all the surrounding students. Even the doubled Akamaiki Dingza was sent flying, and this battle only lasted for a second. And after this second, only Hazuki and Nara Shikahisa who were casting shadow restraint were left in the entire field. As for Yamanaka Kaiichi, who was lying on the ground sleeping at the moment, he obviously failed. How is it possible? Nara Shikahisa looked at Hazuki in the middle of the field, and then looked at the classmates who were lying on the ground in all directions. He was stunned. Except for him, everyone lost their combat effectiveness, and everyone was defeated by seconds. Such a scene, even the resourceful him, was stunned. That's Revolving Heaven. The Hyuga clan's super trick Revolving Heaven. Revolving Heaven, which is extremely difficult to practice and can only be learned by the Zong family. Nara Lu said dully for a long time, his voice trembling. Open black lens bracket 40 close black lens bracket beyond your own ability, seek everything _ Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The surrounding students shuddered when they heard Nara Shikahisa's words and recalled the terrifying ability that Hazuki used just now. It looks like it's really Revolving Heaven, and the shape of the chakra hood is really similar. No, doesn't it mean that Revolving Heaven is difficult to learn? Even a genius takes a long time to learn. Hazuki is how old he is. But it was really Revolving Heaven just now. I saw Revolving Heaven once, and it was exactly the same. Whether it's Revolving Heaven or not, Hazuki is really powerful. No wonder Hazuki is always so arrogant. People have arrogant capital. They have learned the super tricks of the Hyuga family. It's amazing. The surrounding students were talking a lot, and the eyes they looked at Hazuki completely changed. They used to be envious and jealous, but now they turned into admiration. No way, the gap is too big. They feel that they will never be able to reach the level of Hazuki in their entire life, and they can only look up to such a genius. So, these students can only worship and look up, but unlike them, Teacher Yazi and Teacher Wayu are the most shocked. Because they clearly know how difficult it is to learn Revolving Heaven, and many of the Hyuga ninjas they know, those people who have worked hard for decades have not been able to learn it, and finally have no choice but to give up. But now, a kid who is still in ninja school has actually displayed Revolving Heaven. Such a visual scene is so shocking that it even subverts their cognition. This Hazuki is too strong. That's Revolving Heaven. Teacher Yako said. I think you should report this matter and train Hazuki well, so that there will be a super strong in Konoha in the future. Teacher Wayu reminded in time. Yes, I can't wait to watch the competition today on the 3rd, and I submitted the materials in advance. I will bring this news to the past, and I can definitely focus on cultivating Hazuki at that time. Teacher Yazi thought of what the man with the pig face mask told her in the morning, and immediately left everyone behind and hurried towards Hokage's office. Everyone was left looking at Hazuki in shock, and Kashina, who had always had a small complaint against Hazuki, now stared round with big eyes, and even the little scorpion opened, leaking out her arrogant teeth. Advertisement. Hazuki Big Brother is the best. Uchiha Makoto shouted with joy, pulling everyone back from the shock. Only at this time, Namazi Manado seemed to think of something, and immediately stepped forward. Wait, I remember that only the clan of the Hyuga family can practice Revolving Heaven, and the branch house can't get the practice method of Revolving Heaven at all. So, did you comprehend Revolving Heaven yourself? Understand it by yourself? Impossible. Nara Shikaku denied it for the first time, but then he closed his dagger. Because he also knew that the clan of the Hyuga clan would not hand over secret techniques such as Revolving Heaven to the branch house for practice, but Hazuki really performed Revolving Heaven, so there is only one argument that holds true. That is, Revolving Heaven was realized by Hazuki himself. As a result, Nara Shikahisa was completely hit, and even everyone around was hit, even the teacher Yako, who hurried out, almost fell from the tree. No way. If Hazuki really realized it himself, then he is really too evil. Originally, I thought the gap with Hazuki was small, but every time he used his abilities, he made me deeply understand how terrifying the gap between me and him is. How the hell is he going to let people live? Nawaki sat on the ground decadently. He was once again self-confident, and the suffocation in his heart was about to blow him up. Not just him. The others, including Namazi Manado, Yamanaka Kaiichi, Akamaiki Dingza, Yamanaka Kaiichi and all the students, looked like they were being beaten and didn't know how to describe their feelings. Is it even better? You are the only one left, so admit defeat. The cold words echoed in the training ground, and Hazuki walked step by step towards Nara Shikahisa who was still standing. No, I won't lose, I won't give up, even if I'm the only one left, I won't give up. Advertisement. Shadow binding. Whoosh. The black shadow rushed towards Hazuki like a black current, and entangled Hazuki's body for the first time. Success. Nara Shikuji was overjoyed, and just wanted to call his companions to help, but at this moment, an urgent voice came. Be careful behind. Bang. Severe pain came from behind the P-share. Nara Shikahisa rolled upside down like a ball, and rolled 5 meters on the ground before stopping. Then he clutched his kicked P-share, bared his teeth in pain and curled up motionless. It's really self-defeating. Hazuki said indifferently. His falcon-like eyes looked around. Almost everyone who looked at him lowered their heads in fear. Only Namazi Manado still insisted. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task and get a mysterious gift. A mechanical voice sounded in his mind, and a smile formed on the corner of Hazuki's lips, and then strode over to Makoto's side, pulling up her tender little hand. Go girl. Okay. The two walked farther and farther hand in hand, and soon disappeared from everyone's sight. Advertisement. But the rest of the people stayed silent for a long time, and they finally got hit and walked away in depression. Did you lose? As soon as Yamanaka lay on the ground woke up, he saw the students around him slowly getting up, and Nara Shikuhisa lying still on the ground, knowing that he and others had failed. Although he was confused about the fighting process, he still went to help Nara Shikuhisa as soon as possible. Slow down. Hiss, it hurts me, this kicked me. Nara Luju was helped up, but P's pain was so painful that she even gasped when she walked, and she was even more depressed and wanted to hit the wall. Damn, I will definitely wash away today's failure and I will definitely win it back. Nara Shikahisa shouted loudly, vowing to defeat Hazuki, and kicked Hazuki hard. We support you. Today's defeat will not defeat us Ino Shikacho, we will definitely win it back, definitely. Yamanaka Kaiichi encouraged. Yes, definitely, but P shares hurt. Hokage office. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was quietly looking at the document in his hand, but after looking at it for a while, his brows slowly wrinkled. Because it is written in the information, Hazuki defeated Namazi Manado and the whole class with taijutsu, and has mastered a lot of low-level ninjutsu. His talent is better than Namazi Manado, and it is recommended to focus on training. Although this information proves that Hazuki is excellent, Sarutobi Hiruzen does not think so, because he clearly knows that Namazi Manado is different. If Namazi Manado learns that technique in the future, he will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. So Sarutobi Hiruzen put the document on the table and looked casually at the pig face masked figure in front of the table. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket 41 close black lens bracket Hokage. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Your profile says that Hyuga Hazuki is better than Namazi Manado. It seems to be exaggerating him a bit. The battles between children are just jokes. Those low-level ninjutsu can only show that Hyuga Hazuki has some talent. After Sarutobi Hiruzen finished speaking, he seemed to have thought of something and continued. Well, I will arrange for him to have a Chunin as his teacher. Chunin. The pig face mask figure was in a hurry when he heard this, because it was related to the reward given by the recommended genius, and he hurriedly spoke again to try to persuade Hokage. But Lord Hokage, Hazuki is really good. If you ask Chunin to be his teacher, his talent will definitely be buried. Only a teacher like Jiraiya is qualified to teach him. And today there will be a confrontation at the ninja school. We should be able to decide the winner before noon. Maybe Hazuki has improved again. The pig face mask figure said eagerly. If he hadn't left to perform the mission soon, he wouldn't have submitted this information now, but looking at Lord Hokage's appearance, it seemed that Hazuki was a little despised. Well, you won't understand how extraordinary Namazi Manado's talent is. Only someone like him is qualified to be a disciple of Jiraiya, so go away, time will tell. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and ordered the pig face masked figure to leave. But Hazuki, he's really good, really. The pig face masked figure said, but seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's indifferent expression, he could only give up helplessly, vaguely seeming to understand why third Hokage refused to train Hazuki. Is it because of the Hyuga family? The pig face masked figure secretly asked. With regret, the pig face masked figure walked out, but just reached the door. Advertisement. Bang. The door of Hokage's office was violently pushed open, and a figure suddenly rushed in. This person was none other than Teacher Yazi. How dare you violently break into Hokage's office, stop. Two figures of Anbu suddenly appeared, looking at Teacher Yazi vigilantly. Me. Teacher Yazi took a deep breath. Because of the shocking situation in the school competition just now, she was so excited that she forgot to knock on the door. Sorry Hokage-sama, I'm just too excited. Teacher Yako quickly apologized. It's okay. Talk about it, what's the hurry? Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't get angry, but kindly asked about Teacher Yako's situation, but there was a hint of disappointment in his eyes. As a ninja teacher, you should have at least the stability, but just now, Teacher Yazi lost the stability she should have. Lord Hokage, it's like this, our class just had a confrontation with Ms. Kazuki's class, and Hazuki in our class performed extremely well. I suggest that we focus on training Hazuki. Teacher Yako said solemnly. Extraordinary. Sarutobi Hiruzen glanced at Mr. Yako when he heard this, then said indifferently, if there is something extraordinary, let's hear it. If it's just physical skills to beat classmates, then forget it, it's just a joke between children. This. Teacher Yazi was stunned for a while, because Hazuki did beat the classmates with taijutsu, but that taijutsu was Revolving Heaven, a very powerful super move, completely different from ordinary taijutsu. Therefore, she said solemnly again, Lord Hokage, you are right, Hazuki is indeed performing a taijutsu, but the taijutsu Hazuki performed this time is very extraordinary, and he comprehended it himself. Did you understand it yourself? Tell me, what kind of physique scares you like this? Sarutobi Hiruzen said indifferently. The high-ranking person's poise and dignity were undoubtedly evident. Advertisement. It's 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven, what Hazuki casts as Revolving Heaven. Teacher Yako replied eagerly. Isn't it Revolving Heaven? What's so amazing? What? Revolving Heaven. You mean Revolving Heaven? Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up with a snort, and looked at Teacher Yako with horror in his eyes. He had just read Hazuki's profile and knew that Hazuki was just a low-grade ninja student. Such a kid actually used Revolving Heaven, which completely subverted his 3 views. Yes, Lord Hokage, Hazuki easily defeated all the students in Class 1, including Ino Shikacho, with 8 trigrams palms Revolving Heaven. They all failed miserably. Teacher Yako replied again. Impossible, you read that right, is it really Revolving Heaven? Isn't he the branch house of the Hyuga family? How is it possible to get the practice method of Revolving Heaven? Wait, you just said, he figured it out for himself. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen froze in place, feeling that his mind was a little empty. Being able to perform Revolving Heaven at such a young age is already scary enough, but he actually realized it by himself, which really shocked Sarutobi Hiruzen, and his originally prudent bearing disappeared at this moment. Not only him, the two Anbu next to him, and the figure with the pig face mask were also shocked, especially the figure with the pig face mask. He always thought that Hazuki was excellent, but it was too good. He was a little inferior when he was excellent. This Hazuki is indeed a genius. Another genius from the Hyuga family has appeared. The pig face masked man said, his voice a little hoarse. Everyone in the house who heard this became complicated, especially third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. He originally planned to arrange a teacher Chunin for Hazuki because of the Hyuga clan, but he didn't expect to be slapped in the face in an instant, and it hurt so much, which was really a shame. This kid, Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered, and continued with a dark face. I know about this, you go out, number 1 and number 2 stay. It's Hokage-sama. Advertisement. Teacher Yazi and the pig face masked figure bowed slightly, turned and walked out of Hokage's office, towards the corridor. Yako. Is what you just said true? Then Hyuga Hazuki really performed Revolving Heaven. Are you sure? The pig face masked figure confirmed again. Of course I'm sure. 100% sure. And it's extremely powerful, even if I fight him, I may suffer. Teacher Yazi assured. Ha ha ha. Good, this kid is really powerful, I like it. The pig face mask figure laughed, recalling Sarutobi Hiruzen's dark face just now, and the mood was very happy. This time, he will not only get rich rewards, but also see third Hokage being slapped in the face, but also being slapped in the face by the students of the ninja school, which is simply too much fun. He was so happy that he even hummed a ditty. Hokage office. Let's go. Go to the Hyuga clan to investigate the situation, and ask the head of the Hyuga clan what the hell is going on with this Hazuki. It's Hokage-sama. Whizzing. Two figures flashed by and disappeared in an instant, leaving only Sarutobi Hiruzen in the office with a depressed chin. Ninja school. Hazuki was sitting on the seat holding Makoto's little hand still, but his consciousness was calling out the system to check his reward. Open black lens bracket ding. Did you open the mystery package? Close black lens bracket. Certainly. 22%. 42. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hum. Like the sound of a bee flapping its wings, a colorful light flashed in Hazuki's mind and melted into his body at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, Hazuki already understood what that mysterious gift was and what power it was, filled with joy in his heart, and he couldn't help but strengthen his hands. Hazuki big brother, what's wrong with you? Uchiha Makoto sensed the strength of the little hand and turned to look at Hazuki with a hint of doubt in her beautiful eyes. It's all right, I was thinking, what are you cooking for me after school? Hazuki explained with a smile. Hazuki big brother, what do you want to eat? I will cook it for you. Then eat glutinous rice dumplings. I haven't eaten the glutinous rice dumplings you made for a long time. Hazuki took Makoto's little hand and put it on his side face. Okay. Uchiha Makoto was a little embarrassed, lowered his head shyly, and silently felt the temperature on Hazuki's side face. Squeak. The classroom door was opened, and the students filed into the class, only looking at Hazuki with complicated eyes. Facing such a super genius, they didn't know how to express their thoughts. All they can do is to watch silently, and then work hard to catch up. After a few minutes, teacher Yako came to the class and handed a ninjutsu scroll to Hazuki. Advertisement. This is the practice of the body flicker technique and your reward, congratulations. Thank you, Teacher Yazi. Hazuki nodded, and in the envious eyes of the whole class, he took the scroll of the body flicker technique and put it away. Teacher Yazi, I plan to go back and study the body flicker technique. Makoto will accompany me. Hazuki thought for a while. Okay, let's go. School knowledge won't help you much, I'll give you the privilege, you can leave at any time. Teacher Yazi nodded with a smile, looking very amiable. Thank you, Teacher Yazi. Hazuki expressed his gratitude, and with everyone's attention, he pulled up Makoto's slender hand, got up, left the classroom, and headed home. There are countless students left in the class with mixed tastes and mixed feelings. Privilege. Sure enough, strength is everything. Naoki clenched his fists and vowed in his heart that he must work hard to improve his strength. Namazi Manado next to him was also unwilling, especially when he heard that privilege, the sunny smile he always wore on his face, finally disappeared, and Mingwu was replaced. The residence of the Hyuga family, the home of the patriarch. A surprise visit by two masked Anbu ninjas attracts the attention of many in the family. Hyuga Hasashi had been practicing 8 trigrams 64 palms in the yard, but Anbu's arrival drew their attention. Why did Anbu come to the house all of a sudden? Could there be a war coming? Hyuga Hasashi asked suspiciously. It's possible. I heard that Rain Shinobi village is very unstable recently. Jiraiya-sama and the others went there. Hyuga Hasashi thought about it and said what he knew. Forget it. These things are not what we should pay attention to. The most important thing now is to get familiar with 8 trigrams 64 palms, and then have a good fight with Hyuga Hazuki. Hyuga Hasashi said solemnly. Yes, I'm here to help you get acquainted. My 8 trigrams 64 palms has become a complete master, and I'm going to find Hazuki for a good duel these 2 days. Hyuga Hasashi said confidently. Advertisement. You also want to duel with him. Big brother, your strength is so strong. Hazuki is definitely not your opponent, there is no need to duel. Hyuga Hasashi asked suspiciously. Haha, it's just a friendly test. Hyuga Hasashi smiled awkwardly. He was embarrassed to say that he had been defeated by Hazuki before, and was kicked flying. It was really embarrassing. Hasashi, come in. A serious voice suddenly came from inside the house. The voice was very thick, and people knew that the owner of the voice was a serious person. It's father. Hyuga Hasashi and Hyuga Hasashi looked at each other suspiciously, but hurried into the living room. What happened to father? The two brothers walked into the house and asked suspiciously, but they were paying attention to the two Anbu from the corner of their eyes. You just talked about Hyuga Hazuki, do you know him? Chief Hyuga said in a low voice. Hyuga Hazuki. Yes, we have had a fight, he is very strong, but my brother master and I played 8 trigrams 64 palms, and it was easy to beat him. Hyuga Hasashi Kaido. Beat him. Beat him with 8 trigrams 64 palms. Are you sure? Chief Hyuga wondered. The two Anbus had smiles in their eyes. The information they learned was that Hazuki was very powerful and had already learned Revolving Heaven, so their expressions were a bit weird. Are you sure you know about Hazuki? Chief Hyuga asked again. Of course, Hyuga Hasashi also fought Hazuki, but unfortunately he failed. But in my estimation, Hazuki definitely can't beat us in Master 8 trigrams 64 palms. Hyuga Hasashi vowed. Bang. Bullshit. Get out of here and be ashamed. Patriarch Hyuga slapped the table hard, his voice very indifferent. Advertisement. Ah, why? We're telling the truth. If you don't believe me, ask Hyuga Hasashi. Yes, I promise, what eldest brother said is true. The two brothers hurriedly pledged, swearing that what they said was true. Guarantee, Hyuga Hazuki has even learned Revolving Heaven, how can you beat him with 8 trigrams 64 palms? Don't be ashamed, get out. Chief Hyuga roared. What? Revolving Heaven? Hyuga Hazuki learned Revolving Heaven. How is that possible? Hyuga Hasashi was dumbfounded, as if his head had been hit by a heavy hammer, he froze in place. Hyuga Hasashi next to him also looked the same, and his eyes turned into copper bells in shock. No. Impossible, absolutely impossible. How old is Hyuga Hazuki? He is so much younger than me, how can he learn Revolving Heaven? It is absolutely impossible. Hyuga Hasashi argued loudly, his voice a little hysterical. No way, he was defeated by Hazuki before. He always thought that the gap between himself and Hazuki was not big, and the failure was also due to carelessness, but if Hazuki has learned Revolving Heaven, it proves that Hazuki is much stronger than him. Even the last defeat was due to the opponent's mercy. Such a result, such a blow, was a crushing blow to him, the first genius of the Hyuga clan. So he was hoarse and didn't want to believe it was true at all, but from the look on his father's face, Hyuga Hasashi knew it was all true. Although he didn't want to believe it, but the fact was in front of him, he could only walk out in a daze, and Hyuga Hasashi left with him. This pair of brothers and sisters were hanged and beaten collectively by Hazuki, and even their father had a black face. There was no way, it was too embarrassing. But right now, Just as Hyuga Hiyashi was walking out, Hyuga Hasashi suddenly stopped walking and turned his head to look at the Hyuga patriarch. Open black lens bracket 43 close black lens bracket unfinished task. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hyuga Hasashi said hurriedly, as if worried that others could not hear clearly, and spoke very loudly. Hyuga Hiyashi, who was walking away, heard the twists and turns, and immediately turned his head to look over, with a hint of joy in his expression. If his father got the information wrong, he is still better than Hazuki, still the first genius of Hyuga. No, the information is correct. Not only did Hazuki learn Revolving Heaven, he also understood it himself. Chief Hyuga said solemnly. I realized it myself. How is this possible? Hyuga Hiyashi and Hyuga Hasashi were dumbfounded. The twists and turns in their mood, they just got a little warmer, but they didn't expect it to be the tranquility before the storm. The two left in despair and staggered towards their residence. They just wanted to find a place to be quiet. On the other side, at Hazuki's house. Hazuki big brother, I can cook by myself. Go and rest. Uchiha Makoto shoved Hazuki out of the kitchen with his two white and tender hands, and then put on a small apron, busy in the kitchen, and even hummed a little song. This girl. A warm smile appeared on the corners of Hazuki's lips, and he returned to his bedroom with a brisk little song. Next, it's time to experiment with the newly acquired abilities. As Hazuki raised his right hand, a green light appeared all over his body, and the kunai in the ninja bag flew out with the green light, and floated quietly in the air. But it didn't end, and soon the second kunai floated up, then the third, and then the fourth. In a short period of time, all the kunai in the ninja kit, and even the spare kunai at home floated, spinning rapidly in the air, and flying. Advertisement. It's not bad, it's more handy than I thought, and blowing the snow template is really a good ability. Hazuki happily controlled all the kunai flying, drawing arcs in the air, and many other objects around were also controlled to fly. It's a pity that he failed in controlling his body to fly, and he could only barely control himself to float a little. 5 minutes later. All was quiet. Hazuki looked at his hands thoughtfully. I don't know if I can develop this superpower into my own ability. The ability to blow snow in my memory seems to be mind power to control the wind. Hazuki was a little puzzled, and was a little vague about Fubuki's specific abilities. Forget it, let's take a look at the data panel first. The strength has improved a lot during this time. The system opens the data panel. Ding. Hyuga Hazuki. Intermediate Sage Body. Talent. Excellent. Template. 5% blowing snow template, 4/5 times. Comments. He looks like a little boy, but he is actually a big devil who destroys the world. There is still so little information displayed. I am a master of ninjutsu. Hazuki looked at the data panel and scrolled down silently. Soon I saw my specific information, various ninjutsu, various abilities, such strength, even if it was not a template, it still swept a lot of powerhouses. Not bad, when I learn the body flicker technique, my strength will increase again. At that time, I will continue to transform chakra. By the way, I will study the snow-blowing template to see if I can turn it into my ability. Hazuki said, and continued to check his information, and soon saw an unfinished task. Unfinished quest. Catch Uchiha Makoto, make her willing to be your girlfriend, and reward with a mystery pack. Advertisement. This task has been taken for a long time, and it should be almost completed now. That girl can be said to be obedient to me. Find an opportunity after a while and try to complete this task. After determining his goal, Hazuki fell into the research of superpower, trying to analyze Fubuki's ability, so as to completely master it. Time passed, and soon the fragrant scent wafted from the outside, which made the index finger move. Hazuki big brother, wash your hands and eat. The crisp voice came from the outside. The voice was very pleasant, with a hint of brisk flying. Obviously the person who spoke was in a very good mood. Coming. Hazuki finished using the 5-minute blowing snow template again, and walked out of the bedroom. It smells so good, our family Makoto really is a good wife. Hazuki praised without hesitation. No way. Uchiha Makoto was a little stunned when he heard this, his little face was flushed, but there was joy in his big eyes. Here, help me wash my hands. Hazuki announced rightfully. No it. Uchiha Makoto frowned. walked over with brisk steps, took Hazuki's big hand and walked to the washing room, and then the sound of water flow came from the washing room. Hazuki, big brother, your fingernails are long and need to be cut. Let me see. Hazuki took a closer look at his nails. Due to the time, the nails on both hands were indeed a bit long and it was time to trim them. Makoto, do you have nail clippers over there? I trim my nails. Hazuki asked Makoto. Some. Makoto nodded his head, quickly took out a box in his small school bag, and then took out a small and exquisite nail clipper, embellished with some patterns, very delicate. Advertisement. Hazuki, big brother, can you see this nail clipper? Ding. Please choose. 1. Trim your own nails. Reward. Chakra increases by 5%. 2. Let Uchiha Makoto cut your nails. Reward. 5% increase in mental power. 3. Trim your own nails with your feet. Reward. 5% increase in mental strength plus a small amount of chakra. Hazuki was stunned when he heard the prompt sound, especially when he saw the last option. He really didn't know what to say. It was too weird. Hazuki looked at the 3 options several times, and finally focused on the second option. Although this one was less rewarding, how could he miss a good thing like having Makoto trim his nails? Don't forget that there is a god-level gift package waiting to be completed. So Hazuki resolutely chose the second option. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Close black lens bracket. Ignoring the sound of the system, Hazuki turned his head to look at Makoto, who was wiping his hands. Girl, come and help me cut my nails. Now, give you nail clippers. Hazuki put the nail clipper firmly in Makoto's small hand, and took the opportunity to hook her palm. Hazuki, big brother. Uchiha Makoto gave Hazuki a helpless look, tilted his head and looked at his palm, thinking that Hazuki took advantage of her again just now. Her little ears were getting hotter and hotter. But she seldom objected to Hazuki's words. So she took a nail clipper and trimmed Hazuki's nails carefully. The whole process was very careful, as if she was taking care of the most precious jade in the world. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task. Reward. Spiritual power increased by 5%. 44. Mind power. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The warm current rippled in his mind, but Hazuki ignored it and looked at Uchiha Makoto quietly, his big hand pulling her small hand again at some point. Hazuki, big brother, don't make trouble, it'll be fine soon. Uchiha Makoto patted off Hazuki's big hand and continued to trim his nails seriously. After a few minutes, Uchiha Makoto blew twice on Hazuki's big hand, checked it carefully, and finally nodded in satisfaction. Okay. Hazuki, big brother, take a look. Don't look at it, let's go and have dinner. No, wash your hands again, just cut your nails. Uchiha Makoto crossed his waist and said. All right. Hazuki shook his head helplessly and gave Makoto his hands, letting her wash her hands again. After a few minutes, the two finally sat down to eat at the table. Soon, the voice of chatting and talking came, mixed with the words of Makoto's concern. Her voice was small and soft, but there were thoughtful exhortations between the lines, which made people feel warm. Girl, be my girlfriend. After eating, the two sat on the sofa to rest, and Hazuki suddenly pulled up Makoto's little hand and asked. Uchiha Makoto was stunned when he heard this, and then his face turned red. I should go home, I'll go first. Uchiha Makoto hurriedly got up, kicked the little cartoon slippers and ran out, but just after running less than 3 meters, he found that he couldn't move, and there was a layer of green light around his body. Advertisement. Seeing this layer of green light, Uchiha Makoto's beautiful eyes widened, and she looked around in surprise. When she found Hazuki's right hand on the sofa, she seemed to understand something. Hazuki, big brother, what is this? It's amazing. This is my ability. You haven't answered my question, how about being my girlfriend? Hazuki waved his hand, and Uchiha Makoto, who was 3 meters away, floated up, and finally landed in his arms, being gently embraced by him. Me. Uchiha Makoto panicked. She actually knew that this day would come, and she really looked forward to it, but when it came, she was still afraid. Because she knew that she belonged to the Uchiha clan. If she became Hazuki's girlfriend, it would definitely cause an uproar in the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan, and it would definitely bring danger to Hazuki. In order not to cause trouble to Hazuki, and to buy more time for Hazuki big brother to train and become stronger, Uchiha Makoto can only find an excuse to reject Chiba. Hazuki big brother, can you give me some more time? Please. Uchiha Makoto finished, leaning his little head against Hazuki's arms, looking at him expectantly. No, I want you to be my girlfriend now. Hazuki shook his head in rejection. Hazuki big brother, be good. Uchiha Makoto gently tapped Hazuki's forehead with his green finger, indicating that Hazuki would be obedient. No. Hazuki continued to shake his head. Hazuki big brother, people are going to be angry, people are very angry when they are angry. Uchiha Makoto continued, but there was helplessness in his beautiful eyes. No. People will continue to take care of you and make you delicious food every day, okay? Uchiha Makoto shook Hazuki's big hands, his big eyes cute and cute. Seeing Uchiha Makoto's repeated prayers, Hazuki sighed, okay, but next time it won't be so cheap. Advertisement. Well, people know it. Uchiha Makoto nodded her head obediently. She was relieved. She knew that as long as she gave Hazuki big brother time, she would definitely grow into a super strong, and no one would dare to stop them from being together. But she didn't know that Hazuki next to her had already become a super strong man. If he really angered him, it would be a shocking event. Neither of the two people know their own thoughts, and they continue to be tired of each other in such a way of misunderstanding with warmth, and care about each other. By the way, Hazuki big brother, go and learn the body flicker technique. I heard that this ninjutsu is very powerful. Uchiha Makoto thought of something and hurriedly reminded him. Okay. Let's learn together. Hazuki invited Makoto. No, I'll clean up the house, Hazuki big brother, put your clothes in the basket for a while, and I'll wash them for you. Uchiha Makoto shook his head and refused. It seems that learning the powerful body flicker technique is not as important as taking care of Hazuki. All right. Hazuki didn't force it either. He waved his hand and the green light shone, and the scroll placed on the table quickly fell into his hand. As for the clothes in the bedroom, they also flew up and fell into the basket one by one. This mysterious ability aroused Makoto's curiosity. It's amazing. What kind of ability Hazuki big brother is, it's amazing. Uchiha Makoto was very curious, and his big eyes were full of little stars. This is psychic power, a magical ability similar to spiritual power. You can understand it is controlling the wind, but it is more casual, and it is not like wind style that must be displayed with a seal. Hazuki thought for a while and explained. In fact, he is not very clear about telekinesis. Although he had seen One Punch Man in his previous life, he paid too much attention to Saitama. He only had a general understanding of Fubuki's ability, and did not delve into it. And what he's talking about now is more esoteric to the ignorant Makoto, saying that she is completely in a cute state. Okay, let's get busy, I'll explain it to you later. By the way, I can't tell anyone about this, you know. Hazuki thought for a while. Advertisement. Well, I'll never tell anyone. Uchiha Makoto nodded his head solemnly, his eyes were firm, and he looked like he was going to die. Seeing Makoto like this, Hazuki said again. It's okay, if you encounter a dangerous situation, just say it, or bring the danger to my side, and leave everything to me. That's okay. Uchiha Makoto nodded his head, but swore in his heart that death would not bring danger to Hazuki big brother. I'm going to clean up the house. Go. Watching Makoto walk away with his little feet, Hazuki retracted his gaze and learned body flicker technique with a ninjutsu scroll. At the moment of learning this ninjutsu, he did not know that a large number of teenagers in the village were stimulated, and one by one fell into a frenzied penance, and even the adults were shocked by the appearance of practicing hard. This incident was even reported to Hokage, which caused Hokage to send people to investigate the cause. When he learned that everything was stimulated by Hazuki, third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was also dumbfounded. It seems that it is time to find him a good teacher. Tsunade and Orochimaru are both suitable, but their requirements are not low. I wonder if Hazuki can meet their requirements. After Sarutobi Hiruzen finished speaking, he looked up in the direction outside Konoha village. It's the end of the month, and they'll be back soon. The other side. Hazuki Hotel, which is the restaurant where Hazuki and Haruna cooperated, and the place that brought him high income. But today, Haruna, who learned to cook with Hazuki, looked at this month's income statement with joy written all over her face. Sister Chunsai, this month's income is more than our previous year's income. The cooking skills taught by boss Hazuki are really amazing. The financial accountant said happily. Of course, but the money can't be moved. Have you forgotten the previous request of the big boss Hazuki? Require. 45, you were fired. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. You mean the expansion of the restaurant and the purchase of ninjutsu scrolls? Yes, this is the decision of the big boss Hazuki. We must work hard to complete it. Let's expand the restaurant first, make more money, and then collect all kinds of ninjutsu secrets. Haruna thought for a while. Okay, Ms. Chunsai. After the two people chatted, they continued to be busy, and the business in the store became more and more popular. Many people came to the store without a seat and could only wait outside. Customers came to the store and asked to eat the braised lion head. Unfortunately, Harukai did not learn this dish. Only Makoto got Hazuki's true heritage. Of course, this dish has also become the signature dish in the store, attracting a large number of customers. Unfortunately, that little girl named Uchiha Makoto is not here. We can't buy braised lion heads. It's really a pity, but the other dishes are also very good. Let's order other dishes. When we come next time, I hope we can eat braised lion heads. The customers talked a lot. Although they felt it was a pity, they were still satisfied with other dishes, but the store was too narrow, there were too many people, and the comfort of customers was not very high. Fortunately, according to the strategy set by Hazuki in advance, the store is ready to expand, and customers nod their heads in satisfaction after hearing about it. In this way, time is passing little by little, and 3 months have passed quickly. On this day, Konoha village entrance. 3 dusty figures appeared and walked in the lively streets of Konoha. Finally back. I didn't expect this mission to take so long. I wonder if Manado has learned how to tread water and climb trees. Jiraiya looked at the crowded streets with a relaxed smile. I must have learned it after so long. My younger brother Naoki has probably learned the 3-body technique as well. It seems that he is going to compete with a student named Hazuki in the class. Tsunade thought for a while and replied. I know that student, Hyuga Hazuki, who called you girl, Jiraiya said. Little girl. A tic-tac-toe appeared on Tsunade's forehead, clenching his fists and looking dangerously at Jiraiya. What did you say? Advertisement. Ahaha. Nothing, nothing. By the way, Manado seems to be competing with that Hazuki. He should be a little talented kid. I guess Manado has already won. Jiraiya said haha, not at all worried that Manado would lose the competition. Submit the mission report first. Orochimaru next to him suggested. Don't worry, let's go to have a full meal first. It's been a long time since I ate ramen. I really miss it. Jiraiya said, her eyes were looking around. Huh, look over there. When did Konoha have such a big hotel, at least 3 times bigger than other stores? Jiraiya asked strangely, pointing to the big hotel in the distance. Really, it seems that the village has changed a lot during the few months we were away. Let's go and have a look. Tsunade's personality was relatively decisive, and he walked over immediately when he said he was going. The 3 walked to the door of the hotel and saw many people waiting in line, and there were frequent discussions. That's great. Uchiha Makoto was in the shop today, and I can order a lion's head this time. Hey, it's finally available. I've been waiting for 3 weeks. Me too. I can't miss anything this time. The 3 Tsunade, who were listening to the discussions around them, were puzzled. They looked up at the store and 5 large gilded characters appeared in their field of vision. Hazuki Hotel. Huh, Hazuki. Hyuga Hazuki, who called you girl? Jiraiya asked in surprise. Bang. It hurts so much, why did you hit me? Jiraiya squatted on the ground covering her forehead. Don't mention it again, girl. Tsunade clenched her fists angrily, becoming more and more impressed with the kid named Hazuki, but when she looked at the name of the shop, there was a hint of curiosity in her eyes. The Hazuki who called her Niu, in my memory was a very cool and handsome kid, but it is intriguing that a big hotel with such a good business actually belongs to this kid. Interesting. Tsunade's thin lips curled slightly, forming a beautiful arc, and then she walked into the store with curiosity. Hey, stop, don't you know what to cue? Advertisement. That's right, we've been waiting for half an hour. Don't you know that you will arrive first? That's right. Don't think it's okay to be a ninja, we will never give you the braised lion head. A group of people in line said loudly, reminding the three to go to the back to line up. The three Tsunade looked at each other in dismay. They didn't understand why these people had such a big reaction. They had to know that when they went to a restaurant before, there would always be someone who would give in and give them priority to eat first, but today, these usually humble people are unwilling to be humble because of the braised lion's head. This is really strange. It looks like this braised lion head is delicious. Tsunade was curious, and the more she did, the more she wanted to try it. Forget it. Let's line up and wait a while. Row. The three silently stood at the back of the team, looking at the hotel expectantly. At this moment, the hotel is very lively, and the shops that have obviously been expanded are still full. And the good smell of vegetables came from the restaurant from time to time, and everyone's index fingers were moved by the smell, even the indifferent Orochimaru was curious. In this way, time passed by silently waiting. After a period of waiting, the three Tsunade finally came to the restaurant. They imitated the people around them and ordered braised lion heads for the first time, waiting to be served. It smells so good, I really want to eat it. Jiraiya looked left and right, and found that every table of guests was eating braised lion heads, but unfortunately there was only one per table. Strange thing, why is there only one? So few, and it's gone after a few bites. Listen, these people who wanted to order more braised lion heads were rejected, limited. Is this braised lion head really delicious? It's even limited. Tsunade and the others looked around in amazement. They didn't understand the concept of limited consumption. They thought that the braised lion head was really delicious. This time, they finally got serious and planned to taste the braised lion head. Also at this time, the store manager recognized them. Advertisement. It turned out to be Princess Tsunade. The manager glanced at Tsunade in surprise, and was about to go to the kitchen, urging the back kitchen to serve Tsunade and them first. But at this moment, Uchiha Makoto came out of the kitchen. Why did you come out, Makoto? Hurry up and make a braised lion head. Here comes the famous ninja, Princess Tsunade. The store manager gestured to Makoto with his eyes. It's a pity that Makoto ignored it, and instead took some ingredients and prepared to leave. What's the matter? Stop it. The store manager was in a hurry and stopped Makoto quickly. This is a good time to curry favor with Princess Tsunade. How could he leave? After all, only Makoto in the store can make braised lion heads. Sorry, it's time. I should go cook for Hazuki big brother, let alone Princess Tsunade. Even if Hokage is here, I can't delay cooking for Hazuki big brother. After Uchiha Makoto finished speaking, he ignored the surprised eyes around him and walked outside without hesitation. The store manager was in a hurry, and hurried to the back kitchen to call out the boss of Chunsai, but he ushered in a nightmare in his life. You have been fired, hurry up. After learning about the whole incident, the owner of Chunsai said coldly to the store manager. After the words fell, the boss of Haruna turned to look at the rest of the staff. Listen to me. In the future, Makoto's words will be mine. Anything that involves the big boss Hazuki must be handled first. Whoever delays the big boss's affairs will get out of the way as soon as possible. Yes. All the staff quickly responded and looked at the store manager with pity. Originally, this store manager was very capable and was hired to be the store manager, but he couldn't see the form clearly. Fired without hesitation. This process was completely watched by Tsunade and the others, and they were even more curious about that Hazuki. This Hazuki seems very talented. Tsunade was surprised. It's very possible, I just don't know how talented he is in ninja. Manado and Hazuki are classmates. Let's ask Manado after dinner. It is good. Open black lens bracket 46 close black lens bracket evil. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. As the three of them spoke, they waited silently, and soon their food was served. The way this fish is made is so strange, it's not sashimi. It smells pretty good, but is it really edible? Tsunade looked worried at the fish on the table, but after ordering these delicacies, they should taste them. Therefore, she took a small sip with curiosity and care, and then her eyes lit up. It's delicious, it tastes good, you guys try it. Tsunade said in surprise. Is it that delicious? Jiraiya and Orochimaru were a little skeptical. They added points with chopsticks and put them in their mouths, then. Not bad. Not only does it remove the fishy smell, but it also reflects the deliciousness of the fish. It is simply fragrant and has a long aftertaste. How did you do it? Jiraiya and Orochimaru tasted it carefully and praised it. At the same time, they were curious about the way of fish. After staying in Konoha for so long, they have never tasted this style of food. Let's try something else. This shrimp is also quite delicious. The taste is really unique. How did you do it? Don't worry about it, eat quickly, and ask the shop owner later. The three of them stopped discussing, and feasted around the dining table. However, if he continued to eat, he would endure it until he couldn't see Tsunade holding his stomach and motionless. Advertisement. Boss, can I ask you how you made this food? The taste is really unique. Are you a foreign shop? Jiraiya asked curiously. No, we are the commoners of Konoha. Are you curious about our food practices? Chunsai walked over with a smile. She also recognized these three powerful ninjas. She didn't make braised lion heads for these three just now, so she somewhat neglected them, and now she has to give them face. Are you from Konoha? I said that the noodles are a little familiar, but the style of your food is very different from other shops, and it's really delicious. Jiraiya continued to ask curiously. There's actually a reason why our food is so delicious and unique, it's because of someone. Who? Is it some great foreign chef? The three of Jiraiya's eyes widened curiously. No, it's someone else. If someone else asked your question, I would definitely not answer it, but you are the guardians of Konoha, so I will definitely answer your question. Haruna said with a smile. In fact, this information will be known as soon as the investigation. She just sells it well, in order to attract more powerhouses and protect the shop. What is the reason? It really aroused my curiosity. Tsunade got up and asked, her beautiful eyes filled with curiosity. Actually, what we can do is so delicious. It is completely taught by the big boss. If it weren't for him, I would still be working hard to earn rent in a corner. Haruna continued to answer, and the big boss she mentioned was stunned by everyone. Big boss? Who is your big boss? Tsunade asked a silly question. Haruna didn't answer, but pointed to the position above the door. Seeing this gesture, Tsunade didn't react yet, but Jiraiya thought of the shop's name for the first time. It's Hyuga Hazuki, the one who called you girl. Bang. Advertisement. Don't mention the word girl again. Tsunade was annoyed, but after thinking about everything, she became more and more curious about Hazuki, as if being scratched by a cat. Come on, let's go find Manado. I want to see what kind of person Hazuki is. Tsunade left the store without asking for change, and left the shop dashingly. Wait. Haruna hurriedly stopped Tsunade. Don't look for it, the rest will be given to you. Tsunade said boldly. I want to say that the food is not enough, it's still half. Haruna showed a shy smile. Forehead. Tsunade's little face was a little hot, and he hurriedly left a stack of money and walked out of the store. His whole body was like a boiled prawn, and he was extremely depressed. Jiraiya and Orochimaru who followed didn't speak, just lowered their heads, but their smirk had already betrayed them. Seeing this scene, Tsunade was even more depressed, and she clenched her small fists in anger. Let's go and find Namazi Manado. This Hazuki should be good at food, and if he is accepted as a disciple, he will be able to enjoy it. Jiraiya hurriedly changed the subject. That's true, but ninjas are very dangerous. If his talent is not high, it would be good to stay in Konoha and become a rich man. After all, the battle between ninjas is very dangerous. Orochimaru replied. Yeah, that's why I wanted to hire Namazi Manado. He's a fighting genius, he's very comprehensible, and he can draw inferences from others, so he's very suitable for being a ninja, Jiraiya explained. Actually, if that Hazuki has half of Namazi Manado's talent, it's worth accepting, just because he doesn't have the talent. Orochimaru shook his head. Go ask. Namazi Manado should know Hazuki's situation very well, after all, he is a classmate. Tsunade said lightly. She has not made a decision now, but intends to go and see first. Okay. Let's go. Advertisement. It is good. On the other side, Konoha number 3 training ground. Wind-style great breakthrough. Namazi Manado made a seal quickly, and the strong wind spit out from his mouth, bombarding the big tree in the distance with super strength, knocking down a large number of leaves. It's amazing. You learned 3rd gate C-level ninjutsu in 3 months. Manado, your progress is really fast. Naoki stood beside him and praised. You can do it too, haven't you almost learned your 2nd gate ninjutsu? Namazi Manado said, his sunny smile showing again. But thinking of Hazuki's 8 trigrams palms revolving heaven, Namazi Manado's smile disappeared immediately. What if I learn 3rd gate ninjutsu? Hazuki mastered 8 trigrams palms revolving heaven 3 months ago, and I feel powerless just thinking about it. Namazi Manado let out a sigh of relief, and the whole person became a lot more decadent. For the past 3 months, he has always been in a state of decadence, occasionally showing a confident smile, but when he thinks of Hazuki's demeanor, Namazi Manado has fallen into a loss, and almost lost the vitality that a young man should have. Alas, Hazuki is a monster, we can't compare to him at all, not to mention 8 trigrams palms revolving heaven. Just what happened to Hazuki 2 days ago is very shocking. Naoki is also very disappointed. He studied hard for 3 months, and only managed to learn 2 ninjutsu skills. Even Namazi Manado is not as good as Hazuki, especially the incident 2 days ago, which hit him hard. Confidence. You mean that thing? Sure enough, after 3 months of calm, when he broke out, it was a big deal. He was really talented penultimate. Alas, the gap is getting bigger and bigger. Isn't it? I'm tired. The two sat on the ground decadently, like 2 lone wolves, silently soothing their wounds. Open black lens bracket 47 close black lens bracket 2 strong. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Whoosh whoosh. The sound of breaking the air came, and then 3 figures appeared at the training ground number 3. We're back, ha ha ha. The cheerful laughter caught the attention of Namazi Manado and Naoki, who turned their heads and were instantly overjoyed. Mr. Jiraiya, sister. Namazi Manado and Naoki got up and ran over, happily chatting with the 3 figures. After a long-awaited reunion conversation, Naoki thought of something and hurriedly said, Sister, teach me new ninjutsu. I want to become stronger, very, very strong. New ninjutsu. Have you learned the previous 3 body technique? You can't be too greedy. Tsunade said seriously. Of course I did. Not only did I learn the 3 body technique, but I also learned 2 new ninjutsu techniques. Naoki raised his head confidently. Not bad, it's only been 3 months, and the progress has been so great. Not bad, not bad. Tsunade nodded and praised with satisfaction. This time he finally felt that his younger brother had grown a bit. Hey, actually Manado is stronger than me. He learned 3rd gate ninjutsu. Naoki laughed twice and pulled Namazi Manado over. Advertisement. Hearing his words, Jiraiya and others were surprised, and they looked at Namazi Manado unexpectedly. Manado, did you really learn 3rd gate ninjutsu? Jiraiya asked curiously, confirming the authenticity of the information. Yes, but they are all C-rank ninjutsu, which is easy to learn, so I learned faster. Namazi Manado smiled shyly. It's already very powerful. Many ninjas may not learn 1 kind of ninjutsu in half a year, but you can easily learn 3 kinds of ninjutsu, which is very good. Jiraiya praised, thankful that he discovered Namazi Manado in advance. Manado's talent is indeed extraordinary. If I had known that his talent was so excellent, I would have accepted him as a disciple. Orochimaru said with a pity. Hey, I tell you, Manado is mine, you don't want to take him away. Jiraiya hurriedly protected Namazi Manado, afraid that this precious apprentice would be taken away. He still seemed uneasy, turned his head and stared at Namazi Manado solemnly and said, Manado, do you want to be my disciple? Of course, becoming a disciple of Jiraiya-sama is a dream I have always pursued. Namazi Manado immediately stated. Alright, you will be my Jiraiya's disciple from now on, ha ha ha. Jiraiya was overjoyed. His happy head was lifted up, and Namazi Manado next to him was also very happy. After all, not everyone is qualified to be a teacher with such a powerful teacher. By the way, there should be a kid named Hyuga Hazuki in your class. Tell me about him. Tsunade thought of what he had heard before and asked. But after she finished saying these words, Namazi Manado, who was originally happy, was immediately stunned, the sunny smile disappeared instantly, and the whole person fell into a state of decadence. Naoki next to him also looked similar, completely lost the youthful vigor just now. What's the matter with you? How come you look like an old man with no vitality at all? Tsunade frowned. Sister, it's not that we are not energetic, it's just that Hazuki is too hateful. Naoki explained gloomily. Advertisement. Damn, what's going on? Tsunade asked curiously. As the talent of Namazi Manado and I strong. Are we also strong? There should be few opponents in the same class. Naoki said. Yes, with your strength, you do have this qualification. Tsunade nodded, but what does this have to do with Hazuki? Isn't he a chef? What kind of chef? That's just his hobby. What's really powerful about him is his strength. He can beat me and Minado's strength in seconds. The strong one is simply not human. Naoki said helplessly. Beat you all in seconds. So strong. Tsunade was surprised, but there was suspicion in her beautiful eyes. After all, Hazuki runs such a big restaurant, and he definitely doesn't have much time to practice. But Naoki said that Hazuki beat him to join Manado in seconds, which is doubtful. Jiraiya and Orochimaru next to him are equally suspicious. After all, Manado's talent is there, and it is impossible to be defeated in seconds. Manado, please explain, is what Naoki said the truth? Tsunade frowned, still unwilling to believe it. What Naoki said was true, and he was very conservative. Namazi Manado sighed and continued. Actually, we were even more miserable than we imagined. Then Hazuki fought against all the boys in our class and won in seconds with only physical skills. His strength is very powerful. Namazi Manado said decadently, his voice a little low. To win in seconds with only taijutsu. It's impossible. Tsunade couldn't believe it. The news was too exaggerated, and at their age, they wouldn't dare to say that they could beat Namazi Manado in seconds. I know if you don't believe it, you can go and investigate, the whole school knows about it. Naoki put his head together and said something. Yes, the whole school knows that he is too strong, alas. Namazi Manado sighed, looking very decadent. Advertisement. We practiced so hard, all because of Hazuki. He not only defeated all the boys in our class, but also all the boys in the first class. Even more terrifying, he also learned 8 trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven. He is a monster. The secret art of the Hyuga clan 8 trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven. This. Tsunade and the others looked at each other, surprised, especially considering how young Hyuga Hazuki was. But they all know Namazi Manado's person. Manado will never lie about such a thing, so Tsunade and others are still surprised, but they gradually believe it. After all, lies can't stand investigation. Therefore, the Tsunade 3 became more and more curious about Hazuki, especially thinking of Hazuki's cold personality, handsome face, magical cooking skills, and super strength. They faintly moved their minds to accept their disciples. I think this kid named Hyuga Hazuki is very suitable to be my disciple. Orochimaru said suddenly, with a faint interest. No, Orochimaru, he's not suitable to be your disciple. He's good at taijutsu, so he must be my disciple. Tsunade glanced at Orochimaru and said tit for tat. This, well, it's just a disciple anyway. Orochimaru shook his head, he was just interested, since Tsunade wanted to take Hazuki, it was up to her. Thank you so much, I'll find you a disciple later. Tsunade smiled, looking very happy. Naoki, where is that Hazuki's family? Take me to find him, I'm going to take him. Tsunade clenched his small fists, eager to try. Sister, I suggest you go to him later, he is thinking behind closed doors now. Naoki hesitated for 2 seconds. Thinking about it behind closed doors. Why? Everyone was curious and looked at Naoki. Actually, an incident happened 2 days ago, which caused a sensation in the whole school. In the end, Teacher Yazi was very helpless and could only punish Hazuki for thinking behind closed doors for 3 days. Naoki explained. Something happened. What could shock the school? 48. Find you a disciple. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The Tsunade trio were curious and didn't understand why a genius like Hazuki was punished. It stands to reason that such a genius should be protected, but since there must be a serious incident to be punished, Tsunade and others are very curious. The thing is, 2 days ago, there was a Chunin who wanted to eat braised lion's head so much that he ran to the school to make trouble, made Hazuki angry, and then was defeated by Hazuki with one move, and he was directly in the hospital with serious injuries. Nawaki explained. Well, Hazuki Grandmaster ate trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven. Defeating Chunin in one move makes sense, but punishing him for thinking behind closed doors is like protecting him. Tsunade licked his lips and pointed out the key point. When Orochimaru and Jiraiya heard this, they nodded in approval, but they were somewhat disapproving. After all, defeating Chunin, they had gone through so many things, and they thought it was a bit funny that something like this caused a stir in the school. As expected from a child, this news is not as shocking as Hazuki's learning of 8 trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven. Jiraiya shook his head. No, Mr. Jiraiya, listen to me, things are not that simple. If this information alone, most students are shocked, but now even the teacher and even Hokage are shocked. Namazi Manado said solemnly. What? Even Hokage was shocked. What's going on? Jiraiya and others came to the spirit. Simply, Hazuki didn't use 8 trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven when he defeated the Chunin. Not 8 trigrams Palm's Revolving Heaven. What is that? Tsunade asked hastily. It's a round ball-like ninjutsu, a kind of ninjutsu that has never been seen before. Hokage-sama rated this ninjutsu as A. The name is Rasengan, which was developed by Hazuki himself. Namazi Manado said solemnly. Developed by yourself. Never appeared before. A. Grade Rasengan. So powerful. Jiraiya and others were shocked. They have practiced for many years and are very powerful, but they still haven't developed this level of ninjutsu. Advertisement. But now, Hazuki, a ninja school kid, has developed it, which is shocking. Manado, tell the truth, Hazuki really developed A-level ninjutsu? Jiraiya asked solemnly. Yes, I swear, and that ninjutsu is still non-attribute ninjutsu. What's more terrifying is that you don't need a seal to perform this ninjutsu. Namazi Manado swore. Don't need a knot. This. Tsunade, can we discuss it again and give me Hazuki? Orochimaru's expression finally changed. Impossible, Hazuki is mine. No one wants to take it away. I'll go find the 3rd generation old man now. Tsunade was really anxious this time, and disappeared with a bang. It's a pity, this is the first time I'm tempted to accept an apprentice. Orochimaru shook his head and sighed, a rare regret. Yeah, what a surprise. Jiraiya also sighed, and he couldn't help thinking of his previous judgment on Hazuki. At that time, he thought that Hazuki's talent was definitely inferior to Minado's, but thinking about it now, he always felt a burning pain in his face. This kid is really a cow. Jiraiya modeled her own face, always feeling a little embarrassed, even a little hot. Forget it. Let's go to Hokage's office too, just in time to report the task. Whizzing. Hokage office. The 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was sitting in the Hokage chair in contemplation, with a document on the opposite table with details about Hazuki. Advertisement. It's a really good kid. He must be a strong one in the future. He must be brought to my side. Who should be his teacher? It stands to reason that Jiraiya is the most suitable, but he has Namazi Manado, so. Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the document on the table, continued to watch, and said again after some thought. Orochimaru is not suitable to be his teacher, so there is only Tsunade, but she said before that she will not accept male disciples if she is killed, which is a bit difficult. Sarutobi Hiruzen put down the document and thought about how to get Tsunade to accept this disciple, but thinking of Tsunade's strong character, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a headache. It's really hard to do. Tsunade's personality is too stubborn, and it annoys her so much that she doesn't even dare to give me face. What should I do? Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up and walked around the office, constantly thinking of a solution. It seems that I can only pull down my old face and go to Tsunade, but everything is worth it. Accepting this disciple, the power on my side will be stronger in the future. Even if Patriarch Hyuga and Danzo get closer, I will, don't worry. Decide. After that, Sarutobi Hiruzen returned to his seat and waved to the outside. Whizzing. Lord Hokage. 2 Anbu suddenly appeared, kneeling on one knee and salute. Where did Tsunade and the others go? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked indifferently. Report Lord Hokage. The information I just got. They went to the number 3 training ground. They should come soon to report the mission situation. Anbu lowered his head and responded. Go and tell them to come to the Hokage office. Yes. Advertisement. Whizzing. The two Anbu had just left. The door of Hokage's office was suddenly pushed open, and then Tsunade rushed in. Old man from third generation, let me discuss something with you, Tsunade said solemnly. Discuss something. What is it? What about Jiraiya and the others? Sarutobi Hiruzen was curious and looked in the direction of the door. We're here. Does the third generation old man miss us? Ha ha ha. Jiraiya dodged into the office with a laugh, as if in his own home, every figure, and behind him was the figure of Orochimaru. Okay. Now that we're all here, I have something to announce. Tsunade has some information for you to take a look at. I'm going to find a disciple for you. Sarutobi Hiruzen glared at Jiraiya, who was laughing, then picked up the document on the table and was about to hand it to Tsunade. Introduce me to a disciple. No, I have my own ideas, so I'm sorry. Tsunade sternly refused. Look at the document first. This disciple is very good and definitely qualified to be your disciple. Sarutobi Hiruzen said bitterly. No, if it was in the past, if you suggested that I might consider it, teacher, but it is definitely not possible now. Tsunade refused again without hesitation. She had already fallen in love with Hazuki as a disciple and would never accept anyone else, so her attitude was very firm. Look first, this disciple's talent is really good. Sarutobi Hiruzen said again, putting the document back on the table. Oh, third generation old man, don't talk about this disciple, Tsunade has her own ideas. Jiraiya walked over to Sarutobi Hiruzen, patted him on the shoulder, and swept over to the document on the table, his eyes widening the next second. Mist Trough. 49 Close Black Lens Bracket Mysterious Gift Pack. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Jiraiya was completely dumbfounded, staring blankly at the document on the table. What's the matter with you? Tsunade asked suspiciously, wondering what was going on with Jiraiya. Tsunade, I think you should accept this disciple. Jiraiya stammered. Sorry, I already have a goal. Tsunade's frowning words refused. She had already decided to accept Hazuki, so she would never agree to accept anyone else. Tsunade, do you know who the third generation old man asked you to accept as a disciple? Jiraiya took a deep breath. Who? Tsunade raised an eyebrow. She decided whoever it was, she refused immediately. It's the one who called you girl. Bang. Jiraiya squatted on the ground clutching her head, baring her teeth in pain. How many times have I said it? Don't say the word girl. Tsunade put down his small fist and quickly picked up the document and looked at it carefully. It doesn't matter at this sight. The original serious look instantly turned into a smile. Mr. Yuan Fei, since you asked me to accept this apprentice, it is my duty. I will go first and find that Hazuki. After Tsunade finished speaking, he picked up the document and left without any hesitation. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned. His mind seemed a little empty, and Orochimaru, who didn't understand the situation next to him, was even more empty. The two looked at each other and saw the doubt in each other's eyes. Didn't you say you don't want to accept this apprentice? Why did you change your mind again? Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a foggy head, as if pretending to be paced. Advertisement. But he quickly thought of what Jiraiya said, it seems to be related to Niu. Does Niu represent a special meaning? Bang. There was a sound from the wall outside, and the whole office was shaking. Sarutobi Hiruzen hurriedly closed and stopped talking about the girl. What the hell is going on? Sarutobi Hiruzen turned to look at Jiraiya, trying to figure out what happened. Hey, old man, think about it slowly, I'm leaving, ha ha ha. Jiraiya laughed and walked away, leaving third Hokage sluggishly standing there. The other side. Number 7 of the Hyuga family, Hazuki's home. Squeak. The door was opened, and Uchiha Makoto walked in with a large bag and a small bag, and soon she found Hazuki resting on the large sofa. She hurriedly lowered her voice, carefully changed her shoes, put everything away, then took a blanket and gently covered Hazuki before heading to the kitchen to cook. After a busy period of time, Uchiha Makoto wore a small cartoon apron and came out with the food, and after putting the food away, he came to Hazuki. Hazuki big brother, it's time to eat. Uchiha Makoto spoke in a low voice. Her voice was small and soft, like a kitten meowing, almost inaudible. After she finished speaking, she found that Hazuki was still not moving. She wanted to make a louder voice, but was afraid of disturbing Hazuki, so she sat on the edge of the sofa, caressing Hazuki's long hair with her small hand, and looked at his face silently. Hazuki big brother, you will succeed, for sure. Uchiha Makoto smiled, and his snow-white little hands swept across Hazuki's face, accompanying him silently. After a few minutes, Uchiha Makoto found her little hand clenched, and then her Hazuki big brother rolled over and continued to sleep with her arm in his arms. It's time for Hazuki big brother to eat. Advertisement. Sleep a little longer. Be good, the food won't be delicious after a while. Like this. Hazuki opened his hazy eyes, stretched fiercely, and then dazedly hid under the covers again. Hazuki big brother. Seeing that Hazuki was confused again, Uchiha Makoto sighed helplessly, then carefully helped Hazuki up, trying to wake Hazuki. Okay, I'm awake. Hazuki stretched again, then wrapped his arms around Uchiha Makoto's small waist, resting his head on her shoulders. Still tired. Hazuki big brother. People are going to be angry, but they are very fierce when they are angry. Uchiha Makoto said while pouting, looking at Chianyu's right hand that was wrapping her waist. Her little face was a little hot, but she didn't stop Hazuki. Instead, she worried that the food would be cold for a while. Hazuki big brother would not eat well. Girl. Be my girlfriend, Hazuki said. But. No but. Hazuki sat up suddenly, looking straight into Makoto's eyes and said forcefully. Uchiha Makoto was panicked, but looking at Hazuki's solemn gesture, she knew she couldn't escape this time, but she was worried about causing trouble to Hazuki, so she began to look for other ways. Say. Hazuki raised Makoto's delicate chin and stared at her forcefully. Hazuki big brother, I want to ask you something. Uchiha Makoto clenched his small fist and said. Advertisement. Say something. Well, I promise to be your girlfriend, but can you not announce it to the public? Uchiha Makoto said cautiously, afraid that Hazuki would get angry. Open black lens bracket ding. Congrats to the master for completing the task and rewarding the mysterious gift pack. Close black lens bracket. The mechanical voice of the system sounded in his mind. Hazuki's eyes suddenly lit up, and then he stared at Makoto in surprise. Okay, I'll listen to you. Well, Hazuki big brother is so nice. Uchiha Makoto was very happy, and even leaned forward a little, on Hazuki's side face, and kissed lightly, then bowed his head in embarrassment. What a good girl. Let's go and eat. Hazuki turned his face sideways, feeling the temperature coming from there, hugging Makoto with joy, and went to eat together. At this moment, he was in a very good mood. The long-awaited task was finally completed at this moment, and the cute girl Makoto finally became his girlfriend. He can now be said to be the Ying family, and he is naturally in a good mood. He was in a good mood, and he rarely took the initiative to bring some meat and vegetables to Makoto, asking her to make up for it. Hazuki big brother. Uchiha Makoto looked at the meat in the bowl with a little depressed face. This master is in a good mood, but she is very sullen because she is a vegetarian and doesn't like eating meat, but she doesn't want to refuse Hazuki, so she can only stare at her bowl. Hurry up and eat, I'll go out after eating, you wait for me at home. Hazuki didn't pay attention to Makoto's embarrassment, but silently checked the gift bag in his mind. The appearance of the gift bag this time is completely different from the last gift bag. The whole body is full of golden brilliance, which is very beautiful. From this, it can be seen that this gift bag is definitely better than the last one. Last time, the gift pack gave a 5% blowing snow template. What about this time? I'm really looking forward to it, but the gift pack says it's best to open it in an unoccupied place, so let's find a place later. Making a decision secretly, Hazuki ate the food quickly, then mixed with Makoto's little head, left the house in her shyness, and headed towards the open space above Hokage Rock. The other side. Kashina was staring angrily at Genin in front of him, his little fist clenched tightly. Kashina, you actually bullied my brother. Today I will teach you a lesson and let you know how powerful Genin is. A short-haired Genin said arrogantly. 50 Jedi. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. HMPH, it was your younger brother who came to provoke me first, and was defeated by me. Now it's a shame. Kashina was not afraid. Xiao Chili's character was undoubtedly revealed. Damn, then you can't hit him either. Look, you knocked out one of his teeth, and he can't even speak. Genin roared angrily. Deserving it. Who asked her to call me tomato face? He brought it on himself. Kashina continued, not afraid at all, but clenched her fists eagerly. Due to the stimulation of Hazuki's growing strength, she also worked hard, her strength increased a lot, and she even learned a trick with the Whirlpool Mido, so she was not afraid. Okay, since you want to court death, then I will teach you a lesson and let you know how serious the consequences of provoking my brother are. Look at the trick. Bang bang bang. Far away. Behind a certain tree, two figures with masks watched silently, as motionless as stone statues. Do you want to stop that, Genin? The super strong man who sent Kashina to the village was very terrifying. A masked figure said softly. No, Lord Danzo just asked us to observe and investigate whether the super strong man really left. Now someone is bullying Kashina. If the super strong man doesn't take action, it proves that the strong man has left Konoha. You're right, no wonder Anbu on the opposite side is also hiding. It seems that Sarutobi Hiruzen has the same idea. Hokage has always wanted Kashina to become a Jinchuriki, but they were afraid of offending the super strong man, and they have dragged it on until now. It is said that Nine Tails has been honest for a while, and has become restless again. I heard that too. Don't worry, we just need to fulfill Lord Danzo's orders. Right. After the two masked figures finished speaking, they continued to pay attention silently, waiting for the follow-up development. After a few minutes, the two were silent. Advertisement. Because that Kashina actually beat Genin down, and his strength is much stronger than expected. This Kashina is so powerful that he actually defeated Genin. I remembered. It is said that Kashina was stimulated by a little ghost named Hyuga Hazuki. During this time, she has been studying with the Whirlpool Mido, and her strength has been improved wildly. That's it. Don't care. Anyway, the super powerful person who was attacked by Kashina didn't show up. Maybe the super powerful person left the village. Let's go. Let's report the news to Lord Danzo. It is good. Whizzing. The clearing above Hokage Rock. Hazuki stood quietly, looking down at the lively Konoha village. It's a peaceful village. Who would have thought that there are countless darkness and conspiracies hidden in such a peaceful village? Hazuki said secretly. His eyes swept across the entire Konoha village, and then shook his head. Forget it. As long as you don't mess with me, I don't care. The system will open the mysterious gift package. Ding. Mystery package is opening. Ding. Congratulations to the owner for getting 10% Saitama template. Tip. With the addition of your original 5% Saitama template, your current number of templates reaches 15%, and the number of templates you can use per month is 15 times, each time you use it for 15 minutes. The mechanical voice sounded in his mind, and Hazuki's mood became more and more happy with this voice. Okay. This reward is really rich, no wonder it took so much time. Hazuki was surprised, and quickly called up his data panel to check his status. Ding. Hyuga Hazuki. Intermediate Sage Body. Talent. Excellent. Advertisement. Template. 15% Saitama template, 15/15 times, 5% Blowing Snow template, 5/5 times. Comments. He looks like a little boy, but he is actually a big devil who destroys the world. Looking at the data panel, looking at the 15% Saitama template, Hazuki's lips curved into a beautiful arc. I can use it 15 times a month, and I can use it for 15 minutes each time. This kind of card allows me to do a lot of things. Hazuki thought to himself, his eyes swept across the Konoha village, vaguely wanting to execute some big plan. Forget it. Let's talk about the big plan later. Life is quite comfortable now, and it can trigger God-level choices, which is not bad. Hazuki retracted his thoughts and decided to experiment with the 15% Saitama template, so he looked towards the woods behind him. It's okay now. Let's go to the woods and try. After saying that, Hazuki dodged and rushed towards the lush forest. In a secret base in Konoha, Danzo sat quietly in a chair, looking indifferently at the two figures below. According to what you said, the super powerhouse is likely to leave the village. Yes, Lord Danzo. Although Kashina defeated the genin, she was provoked after all, and at school, a kid named Hazuki kissed Kashina twice, which is enough to prove that the super strong man is indeed not in the village. Quote. Sure enough. Danzo said lightly, with Gujing Wubo in his eyes, the aura of a superior person exudes, and his solemn and majestic aura is undoubtedly revealed. Sensing Danzo's change, the two masked figures became more respectful. Since the superpower is gone, let's start the cell plan. Remember to secretly get Kashina's cells, and don't let her find out. If the superpower comes back in the future, it will definitely be troublesome. Danzo ordered. It's Lord Danzo. The two Anbu responded, preparing to leave. But just as they were about to leave, just as they were about to execute the plan. Boom. Advertisement. The roar of the sky resounded through the sky, and the entire village was shaking with the loud noise. Countless houses fell, a lot of dust like an earthquake. Danzo, who had just given the order, was startled by the sound and shivered. What sound? Go check it out. Danzo roared, feeling a little bad. The vibration at the door of Konoha in his memory was very similar to this time, it was exactly the same. The last time was because of Kashina. Now that Kashina has just been bullied, there is such a loud noise. I am afraid it has nothing to do with Kashina. Thinking of this, Danzo swallowed in horror, feeling very uneasy, but he still pretended to be calm and waited for his subordinates to return to report the situation. But this time, it took a full 10 minutes. Whizzing. The previous two masked figures finally returned, but both of them were shaking. Tuan. Lord Danzo, something big has happened. The masked figure stammered. What's the matter? Tell me now. Danzo felt more and more uneasy, and there was cold sweat on his forehead. My lord, the forest above Hokage Rock is gone. No. What do you mean? Danzo was stunned, unable to react for a while. My lord, there is a terrifying gap in the woods. From the top of the Hokage Rock, it goes straight to the outside of the village for an unknown number of miles. The whole area has become a Jedi, and no grass can grow. Yes, and we haven't seen the person who shot it. This gap is very similar to the gap outside the village last time, but this time it is bigger and more terrifying. The two masked figures spoke, their voices trembling, and it was almost impossible to maintain their kneeling posture. Gap. The last time. My god, it's him, definitely the super strong. He didn't leave, he definitely didn't leave. Danzo wiped the cold sweat from his temples, his voice became very hoarse, and the whole person was shaking like a sieve. 26%. 51. Don't pull me if you want to die. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. No wonder Danzo was so scared. It was because the gap at the entrance of Konoha was too terrifying. Danzo never dared to forget the scene like a natural disaster. In fact, Danzo is not afraid of death, but who will choose to die if he can live? The key is that he is still young and has not been driven to a desperate situation. He will never choose to die, and his dream has not yet been completed, so he is stubborn. For the sake of his own life, he decided not to do stupid things anymore, but turned to look at the two subordinates. The cell plan has been cancelled. Never mention it to me again, understand? Danzo roared hoarsely, unable to maintain even the most basic calm. It's your lord, so are you still stalking Kashina? Follow me, you want to die, don't pull me. Danzo roared. My lord, do you need to investigate Hyuga Hazuki, who was in contact with Kashina earlier? No need, that kid was in close contact with Kashina, but didn't lead out the super powerful, which means that the super powerful acquiesced, so we'd better not participate. Danzo said solemnly. It's Lord Danzo. The two masked figures bowed and saluted, ready to leave, but this time Danzo stopped them again. I'm going to study new ninjutsu here during this time. Don't bother me if I have nothing to do. You'd better not cause trouble for me, you know. Danzo said seriously. It's your lord. The two masked figures looked at each other, always feeling that Danzo was frightened and wanted to hide here. Of course they didn't dare to say it, so after bowing and saluting, they walked away. Whizzing. Danzo watched his subordinates leave, and he sat back in his chair, his expression gloomy and terrifying. Advertisement. I didn't expect that just a genin bullying Kashina would attract that super powerful person to fight. I really didn't expect that. No, Yuanfei Hiruzen must be warned about this matter. This Kashina must not be provoked. Also, I, Danzo, can do anything and break my bones, but I have to take into account the safety of Konoha. For Konoha's safety, I am willing to go find Sarutobi Hiruzen in person. After Danzo finished speaking, he left with determination, but there was still a cold sweat on his temples, which was frightened. Vortex Mito Mansion. Kashina and Mito stood quietly together, looking out the window in the direction of Hokage Rock with shock. Mother Mito, did the big brother really show up? Kashina clenched her fists in hope. Yes, it must be him. Even if I don't watch the natural disaster scene at Hokage Rock, I know it is him. Vortex Mito said calmly. Why? Kashina was curious, blinking her big eyes. Because Nine Tails is very, very honest. Before, it almost broke free of the seal, but now it's obedient like a cat. This is exactly the same as last time. Nine Tails was also scared like this last time. Vortex Mito said, with a relaxed look on his face. He finally let go of his worries, and finally did not have to worry about Nine Tails breaking away from the seal. So that's it, so the big brother has always existed, he just hid it, but why didn't he come out to see me? Kashina pouted, her big eyes slightly red. Maybe you are looking forward to your growth, looking forward to your independence, and then relying on your own ability to find him. I can't think of anything else. It turns out to be like this. I understand, I must work hard to become stronger, and then find a big brother. Kashina said with big eyes, her eyes full of determination. Suddenly she remembered that when her big brother rescued her, she once let her bite her arm. At that time, she felt very warm, and this information made Kashina's eyes shine. But she didn't say it, but silently hid it in her heart, and planned to find it secretly by her own means. Of course, she would not bite anyone casually, but pondered what method to use. Hyuga Family Station, lively street. Hazuki walked on the way home, ignoring the clansmen who were running towards Hokage Rock, and walked staggeringly with the cloth. Hazuki didn't pay much attention to the big news that he made, and he didn't know that an invisible punch had ruined Danzo's plan. What he cares about now is what kind of clothes Makoto will make for him after returning home. This girl is urging him to buy some fabrics he likes every day, and then bring them back, ready to make clothes for him. Advertisement. I'm really looking forward to it. As Hazuki said that, he walked near the house and saw Uchiha Makoto standing anxiously at the door. Hazuki, big brother, you're finally back. Uchiha Makoto trotted to Hazuki's side, looking at him worriedly. What's wrong? Hazuki wondered, wondering what happened to this girl. The vibration at Hokage Rock was scary just now. I'm worried that something happened to Hazuki, big brother, but I'm worried that you won't be able to see me when you come back, so I can only wait here. Uchiha Makoto checked Hazuki and found that he was not injured at all before explaining. Silly girl. My strength is very strong. Don't worry, let's go. I bought the fabric, help me make clothes. Okay. The two walked into the house together, but at this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Ding. Please choose. 1. Let Uchiha Makoto sew clothes for you. Reward. Random wind style ninjutsu. 2. Let Uzumaki Kashina sew clothes for you. Reward. Random water style ninjutsu. 3. Do yourself a favor and sew clothes by yourself. Rewards. Random earth style ninjutsu plus a small amount of chakra. This. Looking at the god level options that suddenly appeared, Hazuki paused for a second, then quickly looked at the 3 options. The last option is still the best one, with the most generous rewards, but with my sage body, this amount of chakra means nothing to me, so I choose the first option. Hazuki chose the first item without hesitation, because it was too easy to complete. After all, it was only a matter of words, and it would take a lot of time for Kashina to sew the clothes. As for Hazuki's own sewing, that's fine, he'd rather buy the clothes than sew them himself, so he handed the fabric to Makoto and said, "Hey, here it is for you." Well, Hazuki, big brother, stand up, I'll help you line up the size and make you clothes. Uchiha Makoto said with big watery eyes. Advertisement. It is good. Hazuki nodded and stood up, arms outstretched. He soon noticed a pair of tender, white hands lining his body, and the faint body fragrance lingered on his nose. It smelled so good, Hazuki couldn't help but take a few more sips. And his behavior made Uchiha Makoto's face flush with red, like a small apple. "Oh Hazuki big brother, please don't make trouble." Uchiha Makoto was really embarrassed. She stood on tiptoe and tapped Hazuki's forehead with her slender jade fingers, indicating that Hazuki was obedient. "Okay. Okay." Hazuki shook his head and stopped teasing her. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task, and rewarded with B-level ninjutsu, wind-style vacuum taiyu. Close black lens bracket. It turned out to be this ninjutsu. Not bad, this is Danzo's signature ninjutsu. Hazuki absorbed the ninjutsu knowledge in his mind and quickly integrated it. He really wanted to try the power of this ninjutsu, but instead of experimenting, he turned his head to look outside the door. What happened to Hazuki big brother? There are guests here, go open the door. Hazuki said lightly. Okay. Uchiha Makoto obediently opened the door, but looked outside and found no one. She searched around and found nothing, which made her very strange. Hazuki big brother, I didn't see the guest, did I hear it wrong? Uchiha Makoto scratched his head and said cutely. No, she's coming soon. If I'm not mistaken, this woman is here to take me as a disciple. Hazuki picked up the teapot on the table, poured the tea gently, and waited quietly. Seeing Hazuki's actions, Uchiha Makoto was still at a loss, and she went out for a turn, but still didn't find the slightest, which made her very confused. Is Hazuki big brother sick? There are no women outside, not even people. Uchiha Makoto muttered softly, his big eyes full of doubts. She just finished saying this and was about to go back to the house when suddenly. 52 Close, Tsunade. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Suddenly there was a sound of breaking through the air. Makoto hurriedly turned his head to look behind, and soon a curved figure appeared in her eyes. It was a woman with a fiery figure, exuding a youthful air all over her body, and with her signature double ponytail, Makoto recognized the person at first sight. It's really coming, and it's Master Tsunade. How did Hazuki big brother know? And he knew so early. He obviously didn't open his eyes. Uchiha Makoto whispered, her little head didn't turn around for a while, but she still instinctively invited Tsunade to enter. You're Makoto, why are you staying at the door? Tsunade asked Makoto suspiciously as he walked into the house, wondering why the little girl was standing at the door. But when Tsunade walked inside the house, she suddenly saw the 3 cups of tea poured, she was stunned, and a ridiculous idea appeared in her mind. Could it be? Does this kid know that I'm coming? Impossible. I had just returned to Konoha, and I came here immediately after I got Hazuki's information, but why does this place look like a hospitality? And that little girl standing at the door as if waiting for me. Tsunade whispered, unable to figure out what the hell was going on, so she spoke again with confusion. Makoto, were you waiting for me at the door just now? Yes, Hazuki big brother said that there was a guest coming, and asked me to open the door. I waited at the door for a while, and you appeared, Tsunade-sama. Makoto said, looking at Hazuki with big eyes in admiration. This. Tsunade took a deep breath and turned to look at Hazuki, who was sitting peacefully on the sofa. She thought this kid was more extraordinary than she thought. You must know that her strength is very strong, and her movement speed is even faster. And that Makoto said that she waited at the door for a while, which was enough to prove that she was found when Tsunade was still far away. Such perception really surprised her. Interesting. Advertisement. Tsunade suppressed the surprise in her heart, tried to calm her mind, and quickly brought herself into a calm state. This is still easy for a tyrannical ninja like her, after all, she has experienced many tasks. After doing all this, she returned to a state of self-confidence and sat on the sofa indifferently and calmly. Hello Hyuga Hazuki, I'm Tsunade, I came to you today to tell you something. Tsunade said confidently and calmly, looking like he had adjusted his emotions. Sir Tsunade, are you taking Hazuki big brother as your apprentice? Makoto, who was next to him, suddenly asked. Base. After finally adjusting his emotions, Tsunade suddenly stood up from the sofa and looked at Makoto in disbelief. How? How do you know? Did Jiraiya and the others inform you? No, it's impossible. Tsunade couldn't believe it, his little head was full of goo. Only a few people knew that she wanted to take Hazuki as her apprentice, and it was impossible for those people to tell others about it, let alone the time. But now, a little girl actually spoke her mind, which really surprised her. Tsunade's head was covered, and he felt that his head couldn't turn, and he didn't understand what was going on. Makoto, make it clear, how did you know this information? Tsunade said again, trying to calm himself down. Of course, what Hazuki Big Brother just said, Hazuki Big Brother is amazing. Uchiha Makoto looked at Hazuki adoringly, his big eyes full of small stars. Did Hazuki say that? Tsunade turned his head to look at Hazuki carefully. The other party was sitting on the sofa and drinking tea indifferently. He didn't mean to take any credit. Instead, he looked like he didn't care. As a result, Tsunade paid more and more attention to Hazuki, and felt more and more mysterious of this kid. Although I don't know how you guessed it, you are right. I do want to accept you as a disciple. Tsunade took a deep breath and said solemnly. Advertisement. Ding. Please choose. 1. Accept Tsunade's proposal and become her disciple. Reward. Strange Force Fist. 2. Reject Tsunade's proposal and not become her disciple. Reward. Heavenly Hands and Feet. 3. Reversely accept Tsunade as a disciple. Reward. A small mysterious gift bag. Reverse accept Tsunade as a disciple. This system works horribly. Hazuki looked at the god-level choice that suddenly appeared, and the mysterious little gift bag, and his expression finally became serious. He clearly knew that as long as the word, gift bag, appeared, it was definitely a very good reward. Even if it had a small word, Hazuki would not give up, because it was probably a template. It seems that it is quite simple to accept Tsunade as a disciple in reverse, as long as I use the identity of that super strong. Hazuki thought to himself, and quickly chose the third option. Open black lens bracket ding. After the selection is complete, come on, master. Close black lens bracket. After choosing, Hazuki turned to Tsunade, thinking about how to reject her, but the next second he suddenly thought of something, and his eyes lit up. As a super powerful person, I secretly accepted Tsunade as a disciple and got a small gift package, and then on the surface I can still be her disciple and get a lot of benefits, such as various forbidden techniques, summoning techniques, etc. Hazuki said secretly. The more he thought about it, the more feasible it became. This was equivalent to drilling a loophole in the system and gaining more benefits. However, this matter must be completed first, so he stared at Tsunade and said, I'll think about it, and I'll give you an answer in 3 days. Consideration. 3 days later, Tsunade was a little bit angry when he heard Hazuki's words. She, the dignified princess of the Senju clan, the famous Tsunade, a powerful ninja, personally came to accept Hazuki as a disciple, but the other party actually said to consider it, which made her depressed enough. Advertisement. But the more she looked at this disciple, the more she liked it. The performance in all aspects was amazing, so although she was not angry, she nodded her head and said, okay, I will come to you in 3 days. It is good. Watching Tsunade leave, Hazuki leaned lazily on the sofa, thinking about how to complete the third task. Hazuki Big Brother, don't you want to be Master Tsunade's disciple? Makoto sat next to Hazuki, pulling his big hand. She clearly knows that the benefits brought by becoming a Tsunade disciple, first of all, is the blessing of identity, which is equivalent to finding a big backer, and then becomes a Hokage lineage. It is possible to learn all kinds of ninjutsu, secret techniques, and even forbidden technique. Both are possible. Makoto wants Hazuki to become Tsunade's disciple, so that Hazuki has a background and can become stronger faster, and she no longer worries that the Uchiha clan might hurt Hazuki Big Brother. Girl. Huh. What's wrong Hazuki Big Brother? It's alright. You go inside and make me clothes, I'll go out. Okay. The lively streets of Konoha. Tsunade walked quietly, but her heart was gloomy. After all, she couldn't accept Hazuki as a disciple immediately, and she always felt a little lost. Depressed, she chose to go outside the village to relax, but not long after she left the village, she suddenly noticed something was wrong. No, this is a forest. It stands to reason that there will be insects and birds, but now, it's too quiet here. Open black lens bracket 53 close black lens bracket apprentice. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Tsunade was dignified. Mei looked around, carefully looking for the reason. It's a pity that after a glance, she didn't find the slightest, as if she was suspicious. Why is there nothing? Obviously the situation here is very wrong. I remember that when I met the tailed beast, a similar situation was formed, but why can't I find the reason? Tsunade was puzzled, couldn't figure out why, and even suspected that he was a little neurotic. She shook her head and decided not to think wildly, but to go back. But she just took a few steps, and suddenly turned her head to look behind. No, there is definitely someone, even I can't find it. It seems to be a master with strong secret ability. Tsunade said solemnly. As a descendant of first-generation second Hokage, her strength is also a top group of ninjas in Konoha, but with her strength, she can't find the hidden existence, which makes her dignified. Summoning technique. Bang! The smoke filled the air, and the huge Katsuyu rose from the ground and suddenly appeared at Tsunade's feet. Master Tsunade, what's the matter? Katsuyu whispered. There is a person hidden here, help me find him, do you have confidence? Tsunade asked suspiciously. Of course, don't forget that I have a unique way of looking for it. Through this way, I have found many strong people. Katsuyu said confidently. That's right. Although you're not a detective ninja beast, your unique way of finding is really powerful. Tsunade nodded in approval, proud of having a powerful ninja beast. Advertisement. Tsunade-sama, please wait a moment, I will definitely find my target within 5 minutes, and I only spent 3 minutes looking for that elite Jonin last time. Okay. Come on, Katsuyu. Okay Tsunade-sama. Katsuyu got the order, and immediately used the ultimate trick, Katsuyu katakana middle. Katsuyu's big split, its huge body suddenly turned into countless small Katsuyu, and went in all directions. With the number of horrors, Katsuyu kept looking around, spreading, searching for various areas, and the more the spread, the larger the area, and soon covered a large area. It's just that something strange happened. After 3 minutes of searching, Katsuyu searched the surrounding 300 meters, but still didn't see the person he was looking for. Katsuyu, have you found the hidden person? It's been 3 minutes. Tsunade asked suspiciously. Tsunade-sama, please wait a moment, this person is hiding a little deep, give me a little more time, 5 minutes, I will definitely find it within 5 minutes. Katsuyu said apologetically. Okay. Those 5 minutes. Tsunade nodded, giving more time. Only 5 minutes passed, and Katsuyu still hadn't found the target. Master Tsunade, I will find it in 10 minutes. 1. Katsuyu said hurriedly, his voice was very urgent, and it seemed that he had never encountered such a tricky hider before. Okay. Come on. Tsunade nodded understandingly, not blaming Katsuyu. Thank you Tsunade-sama. The search began again. Katsuyu split into countless small Katsuyu, searched within a radius of 3 kilometers, checked every inch of land and trees, leaving no gaps, but after 10 minutes of searching, it still failed to find the person it was looking for. I'm sorry Tsunade-sama, I didn't find the person who was hiding, he was hiding too deep, I'm sorry. 1. Advertisement. Katsuyu said in a loss, looking very depressed, there is no way, it has never failed, it is the first time to taste the bitter fruit of failure, so it is really depressed. It's okay, you're not a scout-type ninja, so it's normal to have shortcomings in this respect, and this person's ability to hide is very strong, even I haven't found a trace of it. Tsunade said comfortingly, not blaming Katsuyu in the slightest. Lord Tsunade, why don't you ask the village's perception ninja for support? Although the hidden ninja may have escaped, it is still necessary to search. Katsuyu suggested. Okay. Then ask for help. 1. Tsunade narrowed his eyes, ready to control Katsuyu to pass on information, looking for someone with strong perception ability to help. After all, she is not a perception ninja, and this aspect is a lot worse. But right now, just as she was about to let Katsuyu leave, an indifferent voice suddenly came. Tsunade, do you want to be my disciple? Hearing this sound, Tsunade was startled. She suddenly looked to the side, and soon a small figure with a mask came into her eyes. Who are you? You're so close to me. Tsunade asked in astonishment. As Konoha's powerful ninja, she never thought that there would be a masked figure on the side, and it would simply appear next to her, only 1 meter away from her. At such a distance, if the other party attacks her, She will be very dangerous, and she doesn't even realize how close the other party is. Such a method is really terrifying. Who the hell are you? I've never heard of such a terrifying hidden ability. Tsunade said seriously. She thought that the other party was just a strong hidden ability, so she was serious but not worried. She even had time to look at her fragrant shoulder. Katsuyu, didn't you find him? When did he appear? I'm sorry, Tsunade-sama. I don't know when he appeared. This person seems to appear out of nowhere. There is no sign at all, and I clearly checked the large area, but I didn't see him, and I didn't see how he appeared. This person's ability to hide is too strong. 1. Katsuyu answered quickly, feeling very aggrieved. After all, it has never failed, but it failed today, and its mood must not be much better. In order to make atonement, Katsuyu mobilized all Katsuyu at the same time, forming 4 huge Katsuyu to surround the masked figures in the center. Advertisement. You are already surrounded. I advise you to surrender. If you have been hiding your figure, I may not be able to do anything about you, but now that you have revealed your figure, then. Tsunade stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the masked figure, his fists clenched tightly together. Fighting on the bright side, Tsunade fears no one. Tsunade, I'm not here to fight you, 080, I'm just asking if you want to be my disciple. The indifferent voice sounded again, speaking from the masked figure's mouth. Disciple, I'm sorry, I won't be a teacher from someone of unknown origin, and I already have a teacher, and that is the strongest person in Konoha village, Lord Third Hokage. Tsunade said with a wary look. Third Hokage. He is too weak to protect you. The masked figure said again, disapproving. Too weak. That is Third Hokage, Konoha's strongest person. Tsunade said loudly. You look at him too highly. Third Hokage does have some strength, but that's all, he will be a trick in the future. Hazuki said lightly. Shut up, are you refusing to drop here? Tsunade narrowed his eyes and clenched his fists. Well, is it really necessary to solve the problem through strength? Hazuki said lightly, with a hint of pressure in his voice. He was a little impatient now, and was ready to complete the task as soon as possible to see what the prizes were in the mysterious little gift bag. Therefore, Hazuki stared at Tsunade and said, I'll give you one last chance. If you don't agree to be my disciple, then I don't mind using force. 1. Using strong. Well, let's see who is stronger. Tsunade exuded a strong chakra, and the momentum of the whole person improved a lot. And the Katsuyu she summoned is also ready at this moment, waiting to attack Hazuki at any time. It's really troublesome. Hazuki raised his right hand, slightly bent his index finger, and open black lens bracket 54 close black lens bracket accept. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hazuki raised his right hand, bent his index finger slightly, and flicked it into the air. Boom. The sound of the air explosion exploded, and the invisible air waves spread wildly around, blowing the plants in a large area to the side, and even uprooted. But this didn't end, because a slanting air beam of light suddenly burst out from where Hazuki's index finger flicked, straddling the entire sky above Konoha village, slanting straight up to Yunshao. That beam of light smashed the white clouds, smashed the blue sky, and tore the sky shrouded in dark clouds, forming a slanted beam of light that connected the sky and the earth, and it was like a dazzling lightsaber that slashed from the sky to Konoha. Such a shocking scene completely shocked Tsunade and Katsuyu, and even shocked the entire Konoha. Because the lightsaber that was slanted above Konoha, although it didn't fall off and did not cause any damage to Konoha, the lightsaber has always existed for a long time. This feeling, like a lightsaber slashing at Konoha village at any time, made countless people terrified, worried, frightened and horrified. Tsunade was so terrified that he didn't know what to say, and even his pupils shrunk to a point. She originally wanted to capture this master who was good at hiding, but who would have thought that this would turn out to be a super strong man who controls the sky and the earth. Such a person, such a terrifying opponent, no matter how strong Tsunade is, there is no chance of winning, and he is even worried that it will cause the dissatisfaction of the other party and lead to the destruction of Konoha village. So she was frightened, and clenched her hands tightly, thinking about a solution. Advertisement. Sudden. Tsunade came to her senses suddenly when she thought of the 2 gaps outside the village and above Hokage Rock. Could it be? Are you the one? Tsunade quivered. Who? Tsunade-sama, who do you think he is? Katsuyu asked seriously. It was ready to die in battle, but it seemed that Tsunade-sama knew this super strong. Remember what I told you earlier about the chasm outside the village? Tsunade asked. Remember, does that have something to do with him? Katsuyu wondered. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, this powerhouse is the one who sent Kashina back. Tsunade explained quickly. It turned out to be him. No wonder, no wonder. Katsuyu suddenly realized, and at the same time finally relieved, because if it was that person, Konoha village would not be destroyed. So it said again. Lord Tsunade, since this super strong wants to accept you as a disciple, you might as well worship him as a teacher. This is not a bad thing. This. Tsunade hesitated. Her heart was complicated. She looked up at the beam of light that shattered the sky, and at the mighty power like the sky, she finally made up her mind. With a slender Mizuki back, Tsunade stepped forward slowly, came to Hazuki, and bowed slightly. I would like to take you as my teacher. Ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the task and rewarding a mysterious small gift package. Advertisement. The mechanical voice sounded in his mind. Hazuki smiled and glanced at Tsunade and said, That's good, okay, let's go here, I'm leaving. After Hazuki finished speaking, he disappeared like a teleportation, leaving Tsunade and Katsuyu in a circle. This is the end. Tsunade said blankly. Okay. It seems that it is really over. There is no need for such a strong person to lie to us. Katsuyu said. He was relieved, but he felt that this strong person who became Master Tsunade seemed a little weird. But it didn't dare to say it, and could only bury it in its heart, when it suddenly noticed something and turned around abruptly. No, I noticed Nine Tails chakra, it seems to be out of trouble. What? Surprised, Tsunade hurried to the village. Time went back to a few minutes ago, back to the moment when the air beam had not yet appeared. Vortex Mito Mansion. Countless ninjas guarded around the mansion, looking at the mansion solemnly, ready to fight at any time. In the house of the mansion, Kashina was crying silently, watching the dying Vortex Mito on the tatami, and weeping constantly. Beside Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Udatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura, and several seal ninjas were watching quietly, and everyone had a solemn expression. Vortex Mito is old, and her life has come to an end, but the 9 tails that she has sealed will be the big problem that Konoha will face next. Because the seal is rapidly dissipating, becoming weaker and weaker, and even disappearing completely, Hokage and others began to argue about this issue, trying to find a solution to 9 tails. Advertisement. Come on, quickly seal 9 tails into Kashina's body, or it will be too late. Udatane Kaharu said loudly. No, Kashina must not be allowed to be Jinchuriki. 9 tails will break free and suffer a part of Konoha's losses, but if he offends the superpower behind Kashina, Konoha will be completely destroyed. Danzo roared, firmly opposed. But what about 9 tails? This is the center of the village. After 9 tails breaks free, it will bring huge losses to the entire village. Udatane Kaharu continued, his voice hoarse. That doesn't work either. Kashina can't be a Jinchuriki. Without the permission of the super powerful, what's the difference between moving Kashina and courting death? Danzo continued to stop and firmly disagreed. But have you ever thought that if 9 tails escapes, countless people will die, countless families will be separated, and their families will be destroyed? Udatane Kaharu said angrily. Of course I thought, if those people die to leave fire for Konoha, then let those people die. Danzo also roared, not giving an inch. He knew very well how serious the consequences of angering the super strong would be. It would be a disaster for Konoha to die, so Danzo would rather have a lot of people die in the village than provoke Kashina or anger the people behind her. Exist. You bastard, then what do you say? 9 tails escaped the consequences of a large number of deaths in the village, Lees, you can't bear it. Udatane Kaharu continued to roar. It's very simple. Immediately transfer the Vortex Mito to the outside of the village. The only way to avoid losses. Mitokado Homura next to him hurriedly suggested. It's too late, the Vortex Mito Sama is gone, the breath has dissipated, and the seal has been completely opened. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. Roar. The terrifying chakra overflowed, enveloped the entire house with an evil aura, and spread rapidly towards the surroundings, gradually spreading. That evil and terrifying chakra made countless people present feel tremendous pressure. Even third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen felt horrified. And as time went by, Nine-Tails' figure gradually appeared. The huge claws smashed the floor with one foot, and the sharp blade-like claws easily pierced through a lot of furniture. Such sharp claws shocked everyone to retreat. Only Kashina was slower and did not have time to retreat. Open black lens bracket 55, close black lens bracket. Nine-Tails. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. But something strange happened. The moment Nine-Tails' claws appeared, it even spared Kashina's position, without hurting her in the slightest, and even Nine-Tails' claws were deliberately closed, making the claws farther away from Kashina. Certainly. Now the situation is urgent. No one has noticed this except Kashina himself. They are looking in horror at the gradually manifesting Nine-Tails, watching the red chakra spread. It's over. The village is bound to suffer heavy casualties. Danzo is all because of you, and you will shoulder the responsibility. Utatane Kaharu shied the responsibility. You. Danzo clenched his fists tightly. This kind of responsibility is very serious. Even as an elder he can't bear it, but compared with the extinction of the entire village, this is already the best result. Roar. The roar of Nine-Tails was so loud that everyone backed away in shock. Only Kashina looked at Nine-Tails in confusion, wondering why Nine-Tails didn't hurt her. Whoosh. A female ninja, worried about Kashina's safety, flashes quickly to the safety zone that takes Kashina outside the house. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others also left one after another, standing outside and staring at Nine-Tails solemnly. In the face of the Nine-Tails that is about to manifest, everyone is worried, especially the terrifying body shape that Nine-Tails shows little by little, which makes everyone come out of the house. But soon, Nine-Tails' hideous head also protruded from the house. Those bloodthirsty eyes stared at the ninja outside, and the whole body 500 exudes an aura of destruction. Nine-Tails is coming out. We're in big trouble. Advertisement. Everyone must work hard to drive Nine-Tails out of Konoha. We are surrounded by our relatives and friends. We must not allow Nine-Tails to kill. The ninjas looked at Nine-Tails solemnly. Although they were afraid and desperate, they could only try their best to stop them. Click. The sharp claws of Nine-Tails slammed out of the window, tearing apart a large area of the house, and gradually came out of the house with terrifying killing intent. The ferocious claws and the Nine-Tails head with sharp teeth made the whole scene even more solemn. When Nine-Tails leaves the seal, be sure to stop it and drive it away. But, can we stop it? We are no match for such a terrifying Nine-Tails. A veteran ninja worried. Yeah, it is said that Nine-Tails is the strongest among the tailed beasts. The 4 tails I saw back then were terrifyingly powerful, but now it is Nine-Tails. Can we really stop it? If we can't stop it, we must stop it. Don't forget that Konoha is our home. All we can do is sacrifice ourselves and find hope for our family. The ninjas at the scene spoke solemnly. They knew that this time it was doomed, and they only hoped that the death of later CJDH would give the family and the village more hope. Only, as the head of Nine-Tails came out little by little, people thought of the next terrifying battle, and the tragic mood began to spread. In the stirring, death, fighting, despair, and blood may be staged in the next second. Boom. The sky-shattering sound resounded through the sky, and a slanting air beam of light came swiftly from outside the village. That terrifying air beam of light instantly ripped apart the sky and the firmament, and joined the sky and the earth at an unimaginable speed, appearing in front of everyone like a miracle. Advertisement. Such a shocking scene, such a terrifying scene, instantly made everyone stagnate, and even Nine-Tails, who was getting out of trouble, froze in place. Then, that tyrannical Nine-Tails, which made everyone worry and fear, actually showed a humanized look of panic, and even stared at the air beam like heavenly might. Then it swallowed, and in everyone's disbelief, it swooped back into the house, and hid back to the place where it was sealed again. Such a strange scene, such an incredible scene, shocked everyone. People stared blankly at the beam of light in the air, and at the Nine-Tails disappearing in the house. All of them were as stupid as petrified. Nine-Tails ran away. Someone stammered. Without running, I can sense that it is hiding in the house and is returning to the place where it was sealed. A perception ninja said quickly, with a look of astonishment. No. No way, how could this be? You're stupid. Nine-Tails must have been frightened and shrank back from the sudden beam of light. 1. It turned out to be like this. It turned out to be like this. Great, we were saved. Konoha was saved. Wait, where did this beam of light come from? What's going on? I don't know, but I know that the person who can cast such a terrifying beam of light is definitely an absolute powerhouse that we can't reach. He saved Konoha, me and my family, and I thank him. The ninjas were talking about the rest of their lives, looking at the sky with gratitude, looking at the pillar of light reaching the sky. It's that supreme power. It's definitely him. And sure enough, I bet right, that supreme power must be worried that Nine Tails will hurt Kashina, so he used his superpower to deter Nine Tails. Ha ha ha, great, great. Danzo laughed loudly. It was the first time he raised his eyebrows in front of everyone. The pressure of being responsible was instantly emptied. Even because he just defended Kashina, he felt that he had a stronger background and became more aggressive. And Udatane Kaharu was completely dumbfounded. She looked at the beam of light reaching the sky, at the disappearing Nine Tails, and at the laughing Danzo. She lowered her head silently. Advertisement. Why is this? Kashina is so important in that strong man's heart. Damn it, if I had known how important Kashina was in that strong man's mind, I should have made a bet earlier. Damn Danzo. 1. Udatane Kaharu looked at Danzo with hatred, and she vaguely understood what was going on. It must be that Danzo got some information and knew Kashina's position in the heart of the strongest, so he seemed to have changed his personality and spared no effort to maintain Kashina. This result made Udatane Kaharu very depressed and wanted to hit the wall. HMPH, but I know now that it's not too late. As long as I treat Kashina well, I will definitely have a good relationship. Udatane Kaharu secretly made up his mind and was ready to treat Kashina well. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Mitokado Homura have the same idea as Zhuanqing Kaharu. They originally supported Kashina to become Jinchuriki, but after seeing today's changes, they completely changed their minds. Kashina is such a brave child, I think she should be given a better practice of ninjutsu. Mitokado Homura suddenly spoke, but these words did not fit the current scene. Yes, it's time to arrange a good teacher for her. I think I'm very suitable to be her teacher. Udatane Kaharu hurriedly echoing the words that did not fit the scene. Ahem, how old are you? You should find a young teacher for her. Orochimaru is very suitable to be her teacher. Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed twice. No, Orochimaru's study of snakes is disgusting. I'd be good for Danzo to be her teacher. Danzo shamelessly said. No, how can you be her teacher, a dead old man? I'm the most suitable for a woman. You're a good old woman, and the wrinkles on your face can catch mosquitoes. You wanna die. Bang bang bang. The surrounding ninjas stared blankly at this scene, watching Hokage and the three elders arguing endlessly, and watching them look like they were going to be Kashina-sensei. All of them were dumbfounded and couldn't turn their heads. Open black lens bracket 56 close black lens bracket Jinchuriki. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. We agreed to encircle and suppress Nine Tails, and we agreed to protect the village. Although Nine Tails has returned, it should be sealed again, but now. These senior officials of Konoha ignore Nine Tails, and instead argue endlessly to be teacher Kashina, which is too strange. The ninjas couldn't figure it out, they lacked information, and they didn't know what was going on. Not only these people can't figure it out, but even Kashina is confused. She was worried about the destruction of Uzumaki Mito's body, and wondered why Nine Tails didn't hurt her, so she didn't hear what Danzo said and didn't know what was going on. Now, she can only stare blankly at all this with her big eyes, her little head seems to be stuffed with mucus, and she doesn't know what's going on. In fact, since Nine Tails got out of trouble just now, she felt very strange. She couldn't figure out why Nine Tails didn't hurt her. Coupled with the strange attitude of the top management of Konoha, the cute Kashina was completely confused. Wait. 1. Kashina suddenly thought of what Uzumaki Mito said before his death. It seems that Nine Tails almost escaped the trap twice, but was frightened back by a person, and this person was the big brother who rescued her. Could it be that the reason why Nine Tails doesn't hurt me is entirely because of the big brother? Kashina was stunned, and her big, confused eyes gradually revealed a hint of surprise. Then why did the attitude of these senior officials of Konoha suddenly change? Could it be? Kashina's beautiful eyes widened, and she hurriedly looked up at the sky, towards the beam of light that reached the sky. Could this beam of light be cast by Big Brother? It's to help me, worried that I'll be hurt by Nine Tails. Kashina said in a daze, a mess in her little head. But she thought of a way to prove whether all this was because of her big brother. Do it when you think of it. Kashina stepped into the house without any hesitation, and walked towards the house where Uzumaki Mito's body was placed. Advertisement. Be careful. Don't go there. There are 9 tails in the house. Seeing Kashina's actions, the senior officials of Konoha were worried that she would be attacked by 9 tails in the house, and hurried over to protect her. After all, they didn't know the situation in the house and were worried that 9 tails would run away. But Kashina ignored them and went directly to the house to watch, but she only saw the body of Uzumaki Mito. The trace of 9 tails had long since disappeared, and apparently 9 tails had returned to the sealed position. Mother Mito. Kashina strode to the tatami, looked at Mito's mother-in-law who was in complete rest, tears welling up in her eyes. Thinking of the experience during this time in Konoha, and the care of Mito's mother-in-law, Kashina couldn't help feeling pain and sadness. Mother Mito, go in peace, I will fulfill your last wish for you. Kashina wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and turned her head to look at the top of Konoha. Master Hokage, I hope that the body of Mito's mother-in-law will be buried as soon as possible, so that her old family can be buried in peace. No, she still has 9 tails sealed, so she can't be buried at will. Konoha doesn't have Jinchuriki now, so she can only be buried after finding a way. Udatane Kaharu hurriedly said. Jinchuriki. I can try. Kashina's little hand quickly formed a seal, and under everyone's strange eyes, he pressed on his wrist to form a small superficial seal. This is the strongest sealing technique she has learned. Although she remembers other advanced sealing techniques, she is too young to use it, so she can only use this sealing technique. The reason she did this was to seal the 9 tails to her wrist, so as to test whether 9 tails was afraid of the big brother, and also to make the mother-in-law Mito safe. But her act like this shocked the others, and Udatane Kaharu was the first to object. Kashina, listen to me, 9 tails is very dangerous, you can't do such a stupid thing, although that lord can take action when you are in danger, but if you become a Jinchuriki, it will be very dangerous. Advertisement. Yes, this matter has to be considered in the long run, we can find the Uzumaki clan again, and find the Jinchuriki. Yes, we can use the means to preserve Vortex Mito's body, you don't have to worry about it. 1. Konoha executives talked a lot, constantly persuading Kashina, worried that she would do something stupid. But, Kashina's character is very stubborn, and her determined thoughts will not change easily, so she turned her head and said, 9 tails, I know you can hear me, and now immediately go to the seal on my wrist. Kashina, please stop talking nonsense, you will anger 9 tails, which is very dangerous, and your shallow sealing technique can't seal 9 tails at all, you. Udatane Kaharu's words were just halfway through, and they stopped abruptly. Ask for flowers. Because the 9 tails hiding in the seal actually manifested, and at a super fast speed, it poured into the position of Kashina's left wrist, completely hiding in the superficial sealing technique. This. Udatane Kaharu was dumbfounded and completely confused. The surrounding Konoha high-rises also looked like they had seen a ghost, froze in place like a stone statue. What's going on? Such a superficial sealing technique is like a cage made of paper, and it can't contain 9 tails at all. Mitokado Homura couldn't help but speak, his mind seemed a little empty. Yeah, I need to be quiet now, there are too many things happening today, and my mind is a little confused. Udatane Kaharu said with his temples. It's actually quite simple, Kashina said, with a hint of confidence. 0.00. Advertisement. Everything is because of the big brother. As long as the big brother is there, 9 tails will not dare to hurt me in the slightest. You know how to seek advantages and avoid harm, and 9 tails also understands this. Kashina said, looking up at the beam of light outside the window, he is my patron saint, I will definitely find him and bite him hard. 1. This. Konoha's high-level officials looked at each other and understood why 9 tails did this. Obviously, 9 tails was afraid, and even went so far as to protect themselves. But being able to seal 9 tails, everyone was relieved, and Konoha was able to overcome the difficulties this time. Lord Hokage, Do you want to strengthen the seal? Our seal class can continue to seal it. A Konoha shinobi person wearing glasses said. Okay. Strengthen the seal. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded in agreement. It's Hokage-sama. After receiving the order, the sealing team surrounded Kashina and began to reinforce the seal, but the sealing technique was very ordinary in Kashina's eyes, and it was not considered a profound sealing technique at all. If she is not still young, the sealing technique that she casts is absolutely superior. The other side. The Hyuga family station, Hazuki's home. After completing the task and returning home, Hazuki leaned forward, drinking tea made by Makoto, silently searching for the reward. The reward this time is a mysterious little gift bag. The prize may not be very good, but Hazuki doesn't care too much. After all, the reward is almost understandable for such a simple task. So he chose to open the mysterious little gift bag. 30%. Open black lens bracket 57 close black lens bracket grab the apprentice. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ding. Whether to open the mysterious little gift bag. Yes. Hazuki nodded, choosing yes without hesitation. Ding. Successfully opened. Congratulations to the owner for obtaining a large amount of sealing technique knowledge plus 10% snow blowing template. Hazuki, who was drinking tea, paused for 2 seconds as the warm current like a hot spring hit him with endless power, because the reward was completely different from what he thought. System. This is the mysterious gift bag. This is too rich. Hazuki secretly complained, while receiving the massive sealing technique knowledge. This knowledge includes all aspects of sealing, from the basics, to the advanced stages, to various branches, as well as various applications of sealing, including the display method and fingerprints, which are extremely rich. There are even ghouls sealed, but this sealing technique is useless to me. It's a pity to abandon it, it's really tasteless. Hazuki shook his head helplessly, trying his best to absorb this massive amount of 500 knowledge, but the amount of knowledge was too great. Even if he quickly absorbed it, his head felt stuffy. What's the matter, Hazuki brother? Uchiha Makoto noticed Hazuki's strangeness, and hurriedly came over to mold Hazuki's forehead with a small hand, and looked at him with concern. It's all right, come and press my head for me, I'm a little stuffy. Hazuki put down the teacup and put her pillow on Makoto's Mitsutsuki, motioning her to do the same. For the first time in such close contact, Uchiha Makoto was obviously at a loss. Her little face turned red at a visible rate, and even her little ears were hot and hot. However, she didn't stop Hazuki. Instead she nodded her head obediently, and said, softly like a kitten. Advertisement. She placed her slender hand on Hazuki's forehead and massaged it gently. The movements were very gentle, as if she was taking care of a precious art in the world. Due to her relatively thin body, her small hands like double snow jade looked a little cold, which was caused by the girl's weak physique. But such a small hand on Hazuki's head made him feel icy cold and very comfortable. In addition, the small hand was soft and blended, which made Hazuki squinted his eyes comfortably. That's it. He quietly pillowed Makoto, massaged by her little hand, and gradually fell asleep under the warm sunshine outside the window. Snoring. A slight snoring sounded, causing Makoto, who was massaging, to stagnate a little. She blinked her big watery eyes, looked at Hazuki's face quietly, and smiled at him sleeping like a child. Gently stroked Hazuki's black hair, Uchiha Makoto eased the massage movement, as if worried that the excessive force would disturb Hazuki's sleep. Her caring behavior also made the whole living room warm and warm like home. Uchiha Makoto took care of Hazuki for a long time in such a warm environment. After an unknown amount of time, Hazuki finally absorbed the knowledge in his mind and opened his eyes. The target was Makoto's cute little face. She was lying on her chest so cutely, like a kitten, and she was asleep. Hazuki didn't move, but looked at the girl with a smile, and squeezed her little face with his big hand, and instantly a tender feeling came to his heart. Hazuki couldn't help but squeeze a few more times before calling up his data panel to check the status. Ding. Hyuga Hazuki. Intermediate Sage Body. Advertisement. Talent. Excellent. Template. 15% Saitama template, 15/15 times, 15% Blowing Snow template, 15/15 times. Comments. He looks like a little boy, but he is actually a big devil who destroys the world. Looking at his data panel, Hazuki nodded with satisfaction. This 15% is equivalent to 15 times a month, and each use for 15 minutes, the improvement effect can be said to be very obvious. In fact, Hazuki has been trying to obtain such superpowers. After this period of exploration and experimentation, although he has not yet achieved results, he has some eyebrows. Now that there are more experiments, Hazuki can experiment more confidently. In addition, the vast amount of knowledge of sealing techniques also benefited Hazuki a lot. This knowledge fundamentally made him understand the function of sealing techniques, so as to understand various types of sealing techniques. And through a solid foundation, it is easy to arrange various sealing techniques, and even develop various powerful sealing techniques. Of course, he had already learned many ways to seal the seal, so he didn't have to worry about the research and development, which saved a lot of time. This time the harvest is much bigger than expected, it's more than several times overdue. It's really weird. Is there something wrong with the system? Hazuki shook his head, feeling a little unfounded. He stopped thinking wildly, but waved his hand, and the green light suddenly. Mons shine. The blanket placed in the house flew out and landed gently on him and Makoto, covering them. Superpower is really a good ability, and it is too practical in life. It would be great if I could develop superpowers myself. After all, this ability can continue to be improved, and even reach a very high level, such as flying. Hazuki thought of the tornado in One Punch Man, the little lowly beauty. Her superpower is very powerful. After all, the second place in the S rank is not for nothing. Maybe I can get the tornado template in the future. Forget it. I will continue to experiment with superpowers and strive to develop them. Advertisement. Before Hazuki could finish his words, countless kunai floated up around him, flying according to his thoughts, flashing, fighting, and sputtering sparks. On the other side, the Hokage office. The 4 senior executives of Konoha were sitting together, staring at each other with the smell of gunpowder. I said, Kashina, this disciple I have accepted, whoever will rob me, who will I be anxious? Utatane Kaharu said loudly, with a very tough attitude. I also said, Kashina is my disciple, you don't want to take my disciple. Danzo refused to give an inch, his attitude was very firm. HMPH, you immortal, everyday intrigues, do you deserve Kashina as a disciple? Utatane Kaharu sneered. I am always better than some people, unlike some people who obstruct Kashina, I am her absolute supporter, don't forget that I was defending her before, Danzo showed off his power and took out the 3.7 achievements in maintaining Kashina before. Damn. Utatane Kaharu was furious, but this time she really couldn't stand up to Danzo, she couldn't help it. The previous 2 defeats made her very passive, and now she really can't compete with Danzo. He didn't give up, but turned his eyes and thought of a very trick. Hey, we are all getting old, it is indeed a bit too much to accept Kashina as a disciple, I have a very good way to play fair. Any solution? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked suddenly, looking impatient, and when he realized that everyone was looking at him, he hurriedly coughed twice to cover up his embarrassment. I am also for Konoha's junior, the teacher of Kashina's child must be strictly screened. When everyone heard Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, they looked at him with contempt, and cursed him for this shameless old fox, but after they finished their contempt, they looked at Utatane Kaharu again. 58, Garbage Seal. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Kaharu, what are you going to do? Mitokado Homura hurriedly asked. The way is simple. Utatane Kaharu looked around and said again, let our juniors compete with each other to see who can take Kashina as a disciple. No. Danzo was the first to oppose it. He was a lonely man, and he had no younger generation. Naturally, he firmly opposed it. I'm against it too, it's obviously giving the opportunity to Hiruzen. Mitokado Homura shook his head. Then what do you guys say? Utatane Kaharu said angrily, should Kashina choose? Your attention is good, we can use all kinds of benefits to attract Kashina to apprentice. Mitokado Homura suddenly lit up. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo next to him frowned when they heard this, but they did not object because it was the best solution. So the 2 nodded and said, okay, let's use our abilities to see who can make Kashina happy and accept her as his apprentice. Okay. It's a word. It's a word. After the 4 old foxes agreed, they left quickly, preparing to use the best ninjutsu and training methods to attract Kashina to apprentice. 29 On the other side. A laboratory in the Konoha SEAL class. The captain of the sealing team wearing glasses is trying to analyze a certain sealing technique. This sealing technique was stolen from Kashina, but although the pattern is drawn, it cannot be displayed. Advertisement. Dang dang. When there was a knock on the door, the leader of the SEAL squad said without raising his head, "Please come in." Squeak. A female ninja from the sealing class walked in and looked at the captain of the sealing class. "Captain, I knew you were stealing the sealing technique again." "Haha. Habit, habit." The captain scratched his head a little embarrassed, but he thought of something and continued to speak. "Look at this sealing technique. I thought it was just a superficial sealing technique, but I didn't expect that after my research, it turned out to be extremely subtle, which surprised me greatly. Exquisite. No, that sealing technique looks very rough, even you are surprised. You are the captain of the sealing class, and the most powerful sealing ninjas in Konoha." The female ninja was surprised. "Really? Come and see. The layout of this sealing technique, as well as the steps of extending the circuit and sealing, as well as the scope of coverage, are simply exquisite to the ultimate." "Really? Let me see." The female ninja carefully checked the simple sealing technique with suspicion, but the more she looked, the more solemn her expression became, and the brighter her eyes became. "It's amazing. It looks rough, but every line is exquisite to the ultimate, amazing." Quote. "Got it. The sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan is really powerful." The sealing team leader stroked his eyes and said with admiration. The more he looked, the more obsessed he became with this sealing technique. "Unfortunately, it's too esoteric, and it's difficult for us to analyze it. Maybe it's time to find a chance and ask Kashina for advice." 2. The two discussed and planned to find an opportunity to learn from Kashina humbly, but now that it was getting late, they chose to continue their research. Time passed by little, and soon came the next day. In the morning, the sun is shining, the birds are singing and the flowers are fragrant. Advertisement. Uchiha Makoto gradually woke up from the daze, then blinked her big eyes and looked in front of her. When she found herself curled up like a kitten in Hazuki's arms, her eyes widened instantly. Then she jumped up like a deer and hurriedly came under the sofa, and her little face quickly turned into a red apple. I actually slept in Brother Hazuki's arms all night, so embarrassing." Uchiha Makoto was very embarrassed, and the whole person was panicked. She remembered that she accidentally fell asleep while helping Brother Hazuki's head yesterday. Although it wasn't intentional, she always felt very ashamed, and the blanket proved that Brother Hazuki knew everything. This. Uchiha Makoto was completely panicked, worried that he would leave a bad impression in Hazuki's heart, and his little hands were tangled together. "Girl, are you awake? Hurry up and cook, and remember to cut some fruit." Hazuki woke up from her sleep, glanced at Uchiha Makoto, then patted her little hand and motioned for her to cook. Oh, okay. Uchiha Makoto was stunned for a while. The panic in his big eyes quickly faded, because Hazuki brother was still the same as before, and his impression of her was not lowered, which made her completely relieved. No longer worried, she hummed a little song, stepped on the little cartoon slippers, and walked towards the washing room. 2 hours later. Ninja school. Hazuki and Uchiha Makoto were already sitting in the classroom, whispering to each other, and Hazuki's big hand was holding Uchiha Makoto's small hand all the time, as if it were a matter of course. The surrounding students were sitting together and whispering, recounting the incident that happened yesterday. Many people were talking and exclaiming, and some people even showed their admiration. Even Namazi Manado and Nawaki had a desire for that kind of power. Still, they occasionally looked at Hazuki with a complicated look on their faces. Because yesterday Tsunade wanted to accept Hazuki as a disciple, and the answer he got was actually thinking about it. Such an answer simply subverted their cognition. You must know that he is the descendant of first-generation second Hokage, the princess of the Senju family, and the disciple of third Hokage, one of the most honorable people in Konoha. Such a person should consider Hyuga Hazuki as his disciple. Advertisement. Namazi Manado asks himself that he can't do this, just like Jiraiya wants to accept him as a disciple. He agrees without hesitation. He clearly understands that some opportunities lost may be lost forever. Hey, this Hazuki is really extraordinary. After my sister came back, She asked me to have a good relationship with Hazuki, and I was worried that I would not be able to accept Hazuki as a disciple. I was really angry. Naoki reluctantly said that he and Hazuki were in a competitive relationship, but his sister actually asked him to do this, which was really embarrassing. But there is no way. This is something his sister rarely asks for. He can only endure the depression in his heart, and plans to chat with Hazuki for a while to have a good relationship. Also at this time, a red-haired figure suddenly appeared at the door, and she was a whirlpool Kashina. The moment this girl appeared, Hazuki turned to look at Wan. Jinchuriki. No, it's just a temporary seal, but this seal is so rubbish that even Nine Tails chakra is leaking. Hazuki could clearly see the structure of the sealing technique at a glance. This superficial treatment method was quite subtle to others, but for him, it was full of loopholes, especially the sealing technique reinforced around the sealing technique, which was even more rubbish. Ding. Please choose. 1. Reinforce the seal of Nine Tails to prevent chakra from leaking. Reward. A lot of medical ninja knowledge. 2. Quickly kiss Kashina. Continue to establish the image of a thorn, and reward. A more comprehensive and advanced sealing technique. 3. Open the seal of Nine Tails. Release Nine Tails. Reward. 5% Geno's template plus 100% undocumented night template plus a small amount of chakra. Looking at the 3 god level choices and the final reward, Hazuki frowned. The reward is very generous, but sometimes there must be a choice. So Hazuki made a decision in his heart and turned to look at the door. Kashina, come here. Kashina looked up at Hazuki, but her eyes were filled with doubts. The 9 tails in her wrist had been moving since the seal, as if the seal space was too small, making it uncomfortable. But, when she came to the school and stood at the door of the classroom, the 9 tails did not move, which was really strange. 59. Reinforce the seal. Kneel and beg for a monthly ticket for flowers. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. With doubt, Kashina came to his seat and looked at Hazuki next to him. What's the matter? After going through the 9 tails incident, her mind has matured a lot, especially with the responsibility of sealing the 9 tails. She understands more, and even she must keep the 9 tails a high degree of confidentiality. So when she looked at Hazuki, it was like looking at the flowers in the greenhouse. Even if Hazuki's strength was good, it was still the flowers in the greenhouse. But, just when Kashina looked at Hazuki, she found that Hazuki had come close to her, which made her frown. She was about to say something, but was stunned by a word. The structure of this sealing technique is so rough. Do you think the seal can hold it? Hazuki whispered. What did you say? You. Kashina's big eyes widened and looked at Hazuki in disbelief. To know that 9 tails sealed her wrist, only a few people know that it is a top secret of Konoha, but now it has been broken by Hyuga Hazuki. With such a result, Kashina was completely surprised, and even Xiaoji became O-shaped. Obviously she just entered the classroom. Obviously the classmates in the class didn't notice, not even Namazi Manado and Naoki, but now. The domineering Hazuki could see it at a glance, which made Kashina so frightened that he even stood up. Taking a deep breath, Kashina tried to keep her composure and said with a serious expression, Hazuki, come out with me quickly. After Kashina finished speaking, he calmed down the shock in his heart and quickly walked towards the green belt of the school. She thought that the students in the class were all greenhouse flowers, but now she realizes that there is a monster hidden in the greenhouse flowers. In the past, she thought Hazuki was a handsome and kind little boy, but later she thought Hazuki was strong and domineering. But today, she realized that this Hazuki is an all-rounder, even able to seal, and the key is to see through the 9 tails in the seal at a glance, which shocked Kashina. Advertisement. He's so good. Wait, maybe he just happened to guess what was sealed inside. Maybe he didn't know that it was 9 tails. Yes, he must have just happened to be. Kashina muttered to herself, trying to calm herself down, but the more she thought about it, the more she felt that Hazuki was extraordinary, and the more she thought about it, the more she felt that Hazuki was excellent. After finally arriving at the green belt, Kashina turned to look at Hazuki behind him, and seeing that he was still as calm as before, Kashina felt depressed. Obviously so capable, yet hiding it so deeply. If it were someone else, he would have shown it off. Kashina muttered, looking at Hazuki a little depressed. Can you see what's in the seal? Kashina decided to test Hazuki again. Isn't it 9 tails? Isn't that obvious? Hazuki wondered. Obviously. Kashina was depressed. She went to school and met many ninjas, including Jonin, but no one found out about it. But Hazuki was better. He said it was obvious, which made Kashina angry, especially seeing the appearance of Hazuki's copy. Kashina wanted to hit Hazuki twice. HMPH, so what if you can tell? Although this sealing technique is superficial, it does seal the 9 tails in, and it also has a reinforced seal. Kashina couldn't help but refute. Don't deceive yourself. This reinforced seal is like a paper paste, not even the most shallow seal in the center. Hazuki gave Kashina a disdainful look. He had acquired a lot of knowledge of seal art. Looking at this seal was as simple as a doctor reading elementary school mathematics. Kashina glared at Hazuki, but she didn't know how to refute it, because Hazuki was so right that she couldn't find a reason to refute. You are so capable, then help me strengthen the seal. It doesn't know why, it's always restless. Kashina whispered. Nonsense. It's strange that such a small space can be peaceful. Hazuki glared back at Kashina and pulled up her little hand. Advertisement. Bang. 9 tails in the seal sensed something and hurriedly avoided it, and his body trembled and wanted to lean to the side. Because it was so powerful, it had a tendency to break the seal. What's going on? The seal is shaking violently. Could it be that 9 tails is breaking away from the seal? Kashina noticed the change in the seal and was shocked. If 9 tails escapes, it will bring terrifying disaster to Konoha, and she will become Konoha's sinner and blame herself for the rest of her life. Hazuki frowned, his eyes filled with coldness. Next second, 9 tails, who was leaning to the side, hurriedly returned to the center of the seal, then curled up into a ball and didn't move. The seal was firm again. The seal is firm again. What's going on? Kashina was blinded, her little head was full of mucus. Do you want the seal to be stronger? Hazuki said lightly. Think. Kashina nodded blankly. Kiss me, and I'll help you stabilize for 5 years. Hazuki looked at Kashina and said. Kashina was dazed and had not recovered from the incident just now. Forget it, let me kiss you. Hazuki didn't hesitate, just took a sip, and then quickly sealed with one hand, quickly adding a new sealing technique to Kashina's wrist. Advertisement. After doing all this, he ignored Kashina, who was in a dazed state, but glanced in the direction of the woods and walked towards the classroom. After half a minute, Kashina finally recovered from the daze. She raised her little hand to mold her little face. Hyuga Hazuki, you bastard. Damn. Kashina clenched his little hands tightly, and moved his little feet to settle accounts with Hazuki, but just 2 steps away, 2 Anbu sprang out of the woods. Lord Kashina, just now we noticed that the chakra of 9 tails spread rapidly, and then disappeared completely. Is there something wrong? The 2 Anbu hurriedly asked. It's all right, just now 9 tails was dishonest, and then the seal was firmed again. Wait, you said that the chakra of 9 tails has completely disappeared. Lee's good Kashina heard the meaning of the words and hurriedly looked at her wrist, her eyes widened in the next second. How good is the seal of Chao, such a sealing technique? The layout of the sheep is exquisite, and there is such a way of looping back. It's amazing. Kashina looked at the sealing technique on the wrist in disbelief, and the whole person seemed to be possessed, and kept studying. She completely forgot about being kissed by Hazuki, and even forgot the 2 Anbu grandsons next to her. Lord Kashina, the 9 tails incident is too serious. We hope you will follow us to the seal class to check the seal again. Yes, I have to go to the sealing class. I saw that Hazuki performed the sealing technique on you just now. Anbu's female ninja spoke, and then took Kashina to the seal class at a high speed. Now, the captain of the seal class and the female seal ninja are still studying hard, trying to analyze and learn the rough seals they stole from Kashina, but unfortunately the progress is slow. 31%. Open black lens bracket 60 close black lens bracket. What kind of seal is this? Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It would be great if I got the guidance of that Kashina. This sealing technique is really good. The sealing team leader said with emotion. You can ask her for advice in the future, or even worship her as a teacher. Don't affect the exploration of knowledge for so-called secular concepts. The female ninja said solemnly. You're right, the power of knowledge is infinite. The SEAL team leader nodded, with firmness in his eyes. Whizzing. The sound of breaking the air came, and then 3 figures appeared in front of them. The 3 were Kashina, and the 2 Anbu ninjas. Come on, check the seal, there are some strange changes in Nine Tails just now. Anbu ninja hurriedly said. What? The captain of the SEAL team didn't dare to be careless, and hurried over to check the seal, but it didn't matter when he saw it, he immediately froze in place. What seal is this? The leader of the SEAL class said, with confusion in his eyes, because he couldn't understand the new seal that suddenly appeared. Not only him, but the female SEAL ninja next to him couldn't understand it either. May I ask who performed this sealing technique? The captain of the sealing squad asked suspiciously. I'm a student of the ninja school, isn't it too bad, affecting the previous seal? Anbu female ninja said seriously. No. It's not too bad, and 503 is too good, we can't understand it. The SEAL team captain smiled awkwardly. I don't understand. Are you sure? That's obviously a sealing technique performed by a child. Anbu ninja couldn't believe it. Advertisement. I really don't understand it, but I can confirm that this sealing technique is very impressive, and it has completely sealed Nine Tails. If I guess it is not bad, this sealing technique can last for several years. The captain of the sealing team solemnly explained that he seemed very interested in the person who cast the seal, so he said again, who is the person who cast the seal? I want to ask him for advice. 1. He is my classmate Hyuga Hazuki. As for asking him, you should give up, he will not agree. Kashina finally spoke. She took a deep breath, turned and walked outside, and stopped when she was halfway there. I want you to keep this a secret, and I don't want anyone to disturb Hazuki because of this, because I owe him one more time. Kashina finished speaking, ignoring the reactions of several people, but strode out of the sealing class and came to the lively street. She looked up at the blue sky and the white clouds, her mood was very complicated. In addition to the accomplishments in sealing technique being hit by Hazuki, it is more about Hazuki's gratitude and helplessness, and a trace of curiosity. She was helped by Hazuki when she was in school, and she was healed by Hazuki when she climbed a tree and fell down. She couldn't complete the field survival task. Hazuki helped her pick fruits, and now she helped her seal Nine Tails. Kashina is very grateful to Hazuki. But being kissed by Hazuki several times in succession, she was very helpless to Hazuki, and Hazuki was so handsome, so strong and domineering, these emotions mixed together, which made Kashina's mood extraordinarily complicated. Forget it. I don't want it anymore, I'll go back to practice the sealing technique. Kashina turned around and walked towards her home. She decided to spend this period of time doing penance at home, not going to school, and trying to catch up with Hazuki in sealing. It's just that her behavior seems to be avoiding Hazuki. On the other side, Ninja School. Ding. Congratulations to Master for completing the second item. Reward. A more comprehensive and advanced sealing technique. Close black lens bracket. Sitting on his own seat, Hazuki absorbed a large amount of knowledge of seal art and gently rubbed his temples. He originally planned to choose the third option, but the Geno's template had no mechanical physique and could not exert the power of the template at all, so Hazuki chose the second option, but it also brought him unexpected joy. First of all, he can easily go in and out of Konoha village without being detected, because sealing and enchantment have something in common, and with the huge knowledge of sealing, he can easily do this. Advertisement. Then there are various seal ninjutsu and seal scrolls, and even summoning technique and space ninjutsu are a bit involved. It can be said that the accumulation and improvement of knowledge this time has given him a clearer understanding and anatomy of the power system in this world, and he can face various scenarios more calmly. It's also worth it. If I learn this by myself, I'm afraid it will take years. Hazuki said secretly, rubbing his right hand on his boring temple. At this time, a faint body fragrance came from his side, and a pair of small snow-white hands gently blended his temples for him. Those icy little hands made Hazuki very comfortable. He didn't speak, but silently lay on the desk and squinted, enjoying Makoto's care. Ding. Please choose. 1. Do human experiments. Study the first gate of 8 inner gates. Reward. Fire-style balsam claw red. 2. Officially cohabiting with Uchiha Makoto. Reward. Wind-style vacuum Lianbo. 3. Hand in hand with Namazi Manado. Dance in public for 1 hour. Reward. Water style water bomb plus a small amount of chakra. Hazuki, who was being massaged, sat up abruptly, frowning tightly together. This time the mission seemed strange, but the reward was not bad. Because the 3 ninjutsu are all B level, they are also very representative ninjutsu. I give up the third item, although the reward is a little more, but I would rather not. Hazuki denied the third item with a dark face, and turned to look at the other 2. Doing human experiments is a little troublesome in Konoha, and living with Makoto is also difficult. This girl has always had scruples, and it seems that this time she will be stronger. Hazuki finally chose the second option after thinking, and then looked at Uchiha Makoto next to him. Girl. What's wrong, brother Hazuki? Uchiha Makoto wondered, with cute big eyes. Live with me, Hazuki said directly. Advertisement. Uchiha Makoto was stunned for a moment, then his face flushed red, and his whole body almost became a red prawn. Answer me. Hazuki took Makoto's little hand and asked forcefully against her little ear. But, Uchiha Makoto bit her thin lips lightly, and her face was full of entanglements. She was worried that because of herself, the Uchiha family would cause trouble for Hazuki. Now that she and Hazuki are getting closer, there are already people in the clan gossiping. If they live together again, it will definitely cause big trouble, and even turn into a conflict between Hyuga and Uchiha. In order not to cause trouble for Hazuki, Makoto bit his lip and said courageously, Brother Hazuki, I'm sorry, I can't agree. What did you say? Say it again. Hazuki raised an eyebrow at Makoto. Me. Uchiha Makoto panicked and didn't dare to look at Hazuki at all, and the courage that he finally mustered was shattered by Hazuki's words. She was not afraid of anything else, she was afraid of making Hazuki unhappy, but she didn't want to make trouble for Hazuki, so she was about to cry in a hurry. Don't worry, I can handle whatever you worry about, just listen to me, understand? Hazuki patted Makoto's little hand solemnly. Okay, I get it. Uchiha Makoto reluctantly agreed in a low voice, but in his heart he decided to hide this matter from the people of the clan. Nice. Hazuki smiled, cupping her little head with his big hands. Ding. Congratulations to the master for completing the second item. Reward. Wind style vacuum Lianbo.